quote unquote starting soon. Yes, we are starting soon. Heck yeah, TiVo. We're about to get started with the Tetris Effect Connected Zone Battle Top 8 Grandmasters Tournament. Hope you all are excited. It is absolutely stacked. And yes, this will be finishing up our Tetris Block Party extravaganza, where we've been kind of exploring multiple Tetris games over the past 3 weekends now. And huge thanks to Tetris Official for putting this on and bringing together all of these games. Tetris on the old Nintendo, Game Boy, the Grandmaster, TEC, Puyo Puyo Tetris. What am I missing? Tetris Mobile, Tetris.com. Yeah, it's been quite a ride, I suppose. So thank you to everyone that's been participating in the tournaments and tuning into the streams. And yeah, we have a giveaway tonight for Tetris Effect Connected game codes. Be sure to type Block Party in the chat to be entered to win. And we'll do some drawings throughout the stream. We'll do drawings for 3 TEC game codes, and then a special drawing for, wait for it. There we go. A signed physical copy of Tetris Effect Connected by Alexei Pajitnov and Hank Rogers at the end of the stream. So, and you can choose from the Xbox or PS5 version for that. The Switch versions were nabbed by our winners at CTWC this year, but we still have those. So if you are looking to try to earn that, be sure to type Block Party in the chat. That's a one-of-a-kind prize, and if you are a Tetris fan, I think that is something you would appreciate. And another shout out to Facer. If you own a smartwatch, definitely check it out. If you type in !Facer in the classic Tetris Twitch, I believe there is a coupon code. Get it while it lasts, because I think there's a limited number. So if you own a smartwatch and you're looking for a premium subscription for free, I believe you can type in Tetris 40th to unlock that subscription. Yeah, you can flex some special Tetris watch faces. And without further ado, let me introduce our commentators. So Commando and Davo Tigger, how are you two doing today?
Top.
So, sorry, you guys were muted for a moment. Sorry. There we go. They hear you now. They hear you now.
Well, let's start over.
They were just so shy. Yes. Okay, take it away.
Totally. Anyways, but yeah.
Again, like I know I'm a little bit of like a TEC fanboy, but I think we truly have saved the best for last for Tetris Block Party. So many top players, both that have so much experience with this game, and a couple players that would be kind of that dark horse role that we haven't really seen play Tetris Effect Connected and play Zone Battle to its strengths. And I'm really, really excited to see what they're able to pull off tonight.
Yeah, Zone Battle has this kind of... I feel like Zone Battle has a bit of a reputation for being one of the most intense to watch. It can feel a little overwhelming, but I mean, I think we're here to like help those a little uninitiated with Zone Battle to get through that. But once you understand the game, it's gonna be some intense stuff. I love watching this game. I mean, it's kind of where I planted my roots, and I'm just a fan of the game. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it still going. I'm excited to see all these matchups.
I really think that, honestly, but I think both of us kind of planted our roots with this game. There's just something about the way that the zone mechanic, and to think that it just started as, a single player journey mode experience, that then say, what if we put that into a multiplayer setting? And it has just worked. I mean, obviously there's been, plenty of people that have had their pros and cons about it, but I think it's one of the most brilliant designs to versus Tetris, and especially to guideline Tetris, that no other game is able to really pull off the same way that TEC does.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on and on for why, but I have a feeling we would probably have all the matches finished before then, so we need to make sure the show's still running. Huh?
Yeah. So, Well, yeah. We'll start off with our first match here. On On the left side, we have Sake Gohan. If you were here last week watching the PPT2 tournament, you probably already recognize this name. Sake Gohan, or if you are still unfamiliar with that name, Akashi Robo, formerly, is currently considered probably the best modern Tetris player in general. We kind of saw that with their significant showing last week during PPT2, kind of sweeping through the entire bracket, taking out some pretty big names. Currently ranked number 1 in Zone Battle, the mode that we are about to see tonight, so we could see Sake Gohan kind of just defend the title, or we could see some upsets here tonight.
I mean, if any player is gonna pull an upset off of Sake Gohan, Sake Gohan has one of the most impressive track records of a guideline Tetris player.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost all of their losses only come from other top Japanese talents such as Kazu or Uyashoda. And you'll see Uyashoda as well later tonight as well. Yep. But the player that they're playing against today, Rikuo, is also a very kind of young up-and-coming player from Japan as well. Also got their roots in PPT2 and actually qualified through time slot 2. So overcoming a little bit of that time zone difference to make sure they could book their spot into this Grandmasters bracket. And they might not have exactly the same familiarity with Zone as Sake Gohan. I mean, I have never seen someone pull off so many, Curvtresses and Ultimatresses consistently out of Sake Gohan. But I think the creativity from Rikuo will make things very, very interesting in the mid game and especially through the late game if they're able to hold advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think that caps them up pretty nicely. Both of these players, I mean, we have who is considered considered the best modern Tetris player, and then we have an up and coming modern Tetris name who's also still very strong, all things considered. I mean, still made it to top 8 through the Masters bracket earlier today. And I mean, everyone's here for a reason. I'm not going to count anyone out.
And I mean, these are also players as well, especially for those from our Western audience that typically don't play in a lot of our Western events. Like this is, I think Sake Gohan, I really have only seen play in Square One and just a couple other of, like YouTube videos that other players will upload. Rico, I don't know if I've really seen them outside of Block Party playing any of our kind of like Western tournaments, which I think obviously the, time zone definitely makes it difficult unless you plan around that. I mean, I know for myself, I've only played in like one other Japanese event just due to that, but it is really cool that now we get to see some of the Japanese player base clash that typically doesn't get the same exposure as some of our viewers may be used to.
Yeah. And we are about to begin the first match here.
Rico has the Grandmaster avatar, but we see the sweat emote. I don't know if Rico feels very confident about playing Sake Gohan this early on.
Yeah, no, it's very tough being the 8th seed in a top 8 bracket. You always have to go against the best, and either you have the biggest upset or a bunch of people kind of prey on your downfall.
I did like that Prophecy TSD on Rikuo's side. Both players maintaining back-to-back almost effortlessly. Rikuo's going to get a little bit high up, which might impact their ability to go for a strong zone. We see using that down stack, gets to the clean garbage, and now they've got a wonderful man-made stack that they have to work with. However, Sake Gohan is going ham on this zone, has been completely clean for 14 lines. And
already starting off with an Ultimatris. Okay, so I think an explanation is a bit. Yeah, I think an explanation's a little in order here. The zone is definitely a bit of a daunting mechanic. So if you were here last week joining us for the PPT2 matches, first of all, thank you. Second of all, this game does act on the same core mechanics. You'll be sending Tetrises and a bunch of other kinds of line clears, teaspoons, that sort of thing, to send garbage over to your opponent to try and top them out. And what Tetris Effect Connected does is kind of introduce its signature mechanic known as the zone.
Oh no, Rico! Oh no!
That's an early misdrop. Ugh.
Especially in TEC
Yeah.
where the phases, which I mean we'll get into in a sec as well, usually incentivize games to last like beyond a certain point in time. Early top outs are just not really the best spot to be in. I guess I'll dive into that phase topic now because I mentioned it from game one as well. So even though you'll get a lot more zone meter charge from going for Tetrises, you do have the advantage of getting a higher score, which ordinarily in other guideline games will not do almost anything for you. But the garbage messiness is directly correlated to what's called phase, and that is determined by how many points the player with the highest score has. So once either Sake Gohan or Rikuo hits 20,000 points, the garbage will get a little bit messier, which is referred to as phase 2. And then at 60,000 points, which for most players will take 2 zones completely.
That's an all clear in the zone.
I definitely think it helped, given how well both of those players neutralized.
Yeah, and both players kind of stand out. Yeah, the zone's an interesting mechanic. Once you clear enough lines, on your board, you'll get a bit of what is known as zone charge, and that is the little circle that you see on the left-hand side. At any point, whenever you have any zone charge, you can activate it, and what that does is essentially stop time.
Oh, actually, Sake Gohan pushed it into phase 3, and I mean, thankfully, most of their garbage was clean up at the top, but Rikuo was able to get a much more manageable stack with pretty good zone charge to boot. Fortunately, a little early skim, so that efficiency might get impacted. Sake Gohan working on building up to an ulti, only going to get 18 out of it, but still 57 is a phenomenal showing, and that's going to force Rikuo into quarter zone territory.
Yeah.
And that damage is going to be so hard to counter.
Yeah, as you can see there, when Sake Gohan entered the zone, none of the garbage that was incoming, which you see as the bar on the left-hand side of the board, was showing up. So the time stop is very useful for trying to clear lines and trying to get yourself out of sticky situations.
One of the things I definitely like watching about top players tackle the zone meter. Oh, that's so close to a perfect clear.
There was a T-spin triple tower from Gohan.
Oh my.
Yeah, they're going nuts on each other right now. This is kind of.
Oh my goodness. Sake Gohan almost had a curb twist solve. It was like just barely not possible. But they hesitated long enough. I know for a fact if it was there, they would have snuffed it out. And that would have been an insane spike. But I'm not even sure it's going to matter because Rikuo only gets 43, which by any means is still substantial. But these are airtight placements. And Sake Gohan's advantage state is horrendous to play against.
Yeah, for context, a curb tris is when in zone you clear 21 lines on your board at once, which sounds kind of easy on paper, but then you kind of have to take into consideration that the board itself is only 20 lines tall. So you have to clear that last line with at least a double. But if you can manage to do that, you get a huge attack incentive. And unfortunately, Rikuo misdropping with that Z piece is just going to have to top out very early with that huge garbage queue.
I mean, the quick play is still really respectable, obviously, with the incredible speed gap that Sake Gohan is playing with. But during that explanation, they pulled off a 70 attack Ultimatris, one of the most efficient I've seen to date. Yeah, just given by how we've seen, it is very clear Sake Gohan has come to play. Yeah,
and we're on. Yeah, and we're here, kind of already on match point. Sake Gohan looking basically ready to sweep this game.
But Yo, bit of LST stacking, completely clean,
also
lots of T-spins. 15 completely clean, just runs out of T pieces, and that's what
up to 17, 19. Sake Gohan getting the ultimate 68 attack already. And Rikuo, unfortunately, doesn't have the room to keep placing. Oof.
And I mean, just look at the stats there. 162 drops per minute. and almost 1 APP in the process is just unheard of stats. But Sake Gohan makes it look effortlessly with a clean 5-0 and saying that they are here tonight to win the prize. And I think, given that we're top 8 single limb, this should mean that they only need, 2 more wins? And
that's going to be, that is definitely
a third of the way
down.
But, I mean, given Sake Gohan's track record of just blowing through a lot of top players, we may see a 15-0 out of them tonight.
Yeah, Sake Gohan kind of really being touted as a powerhouse at Tour de Force.
It really is like the final frontier.
Really kind of just like sitting at the top right now. But I mean, like everyone else is here for the same reason. So we could see someone make Sake Gohan bleed a little bit. And it might be someone on this other side here. I believe we'll be moving on to Uyashoda versus Jam. Uyashoda is yeah.
Sorry. Go for it.
Yeah, Uyashoda. Uyashoda, another familiar name. You saw Uyashoda as well last week. Very consistent at being a runner-up in these kinds of tournaments. TECWC 2022 and 2023, 2 years in a row, getting that second place.
And not to mention Square One as well, which was a very prestigious invitational. Uyashoda, also, which in fact had the best performance in group stage, but unfortunately fell to Sake Gohan in the grand final set. But another extremely impressive second place performance. They are looking for a win, but it is just like it is entirely in their power. It's just going to take like peak Uyashoda gameplay that we know and love, and maybe just a little bit of some extra RNG perhaps. And it is not infeasible for Uyashoda to take games, if not sets, off of even the players that ordinarily would have no fear of their competition whatsoever.
Yeah, I said it last week, but I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it. Like Uyashoda being basically runner-up to all of these contenders, all of these players, is extremely impressive. Really has overall great endurance, great attack, great defense. Knows how to play in basically any situation, and for a good amount of time. And on the other side, we have Jam, who is representing the country of Ireland over in Europe. Our one and only European player in top 8.
Honestly, that makes me really excited to hear that we at least got some European representation. But not only that, Jam has been playing in a lot of TEC tournaments, even from just smaller weeklies that you'll see every now and then, to major events held by a lot of great, organizations, great TOs. And Jam has historically just been waiting for that breakout moment. I consistently see them, top 4 at these smaller events, top 8, just waiting for that moment in the limelight. And I think now they're really starting to get to that point. And I'm so excited to see where Jam goes up from here. But this is going to be probably one of Jam's toughest matchups that they've seen. And I'm curious to see how they do take to the Uyashoda matchup, because it is not one that you can take lightly.
Yeah, with a strong first match, and I think a lot of the mechanics nailed down. We'll see how we'll be able to fully we'll be able to fully grasp this match. And we're already starting off, Jam kind of notably using the customized Minos that Tetris Effect has, just giving it a unique design, and also taking away the piece colors, which a lot of people do rely on, kind of just to read the cue at a quick glance.
Well, this is a little bit of a jagged board right now for Jam. Does a really nice job of cleaning it up and immediately goes into zone. They know Uyashoda's trying to build up that extremely strong counterattack. 19 lines for Uyashoda. I think that's not going to be a 20, but still 51 out of it is very good. Jam
retaliating. 49 attack. Pretty close contention here with Uyashoda.
And that's not something you see very commonly. So this is definitely in a very good spot for Jam. A lot of clean garbage due to how it got sent from phase 1 into phase 2. And we just showed it. Wow, look at that set up for the sinking forecast on top of the clean garbage. Not a lot of players have that strong a foresight, but Ouya Shota definitely going to be putting on a show. I guess maybe putting the show in Ouya Shota.
Doesn't quite work there.
I tried. I'm sorry.
But, yeah, another thing to point out. Ooh, that's a misdrop. Yikes. Oh, that's going to be DPC as the zone ends. That's a huge garbage queue to come in. That's technically survivable, but there's going to be a lot you need to do in order to cancel that out. Still a huge queue coming in and no pieces to be able to deal with that board state.
Yeah, especially with how quickly Ouya Shota got around to that second zone. Ultied for 60 attack with a beautiful, like, had to be a little careful getting that T up onto the right side. Almost had a couple misdrops, but it was really funny to see that eventually go off. And unfortunately, that misdrop from Jan really put a damper on their counteractive measures. And so Ouya Shota takes first round.
And this round starting off very solidly. Both players just doing some form of freestyle stacking, just setting up the Tetrises and T-spins.
Is Ouya Shota gonna ST stack? Little ST?
Not quite.
Oh no! Oh, I love this. It's still.
But this is a good
lines.
Yeah, this is a very good improv play from Ouya Shota, being able to send a huge queue of garbage over to Jam, but Jam having enough zone charge to be able to activate and stack pretty high, actually. Up to 18 lines in a half-charged zone. Not going to be able to send much, because that is actually another thing to keep in mind. The amount of zone charge you have does affect how much garbage you do send out. But sometimes you don't have a choice, and you have to deal with it in a pinch.
Especially for Jam right now, being at zone meter disadvantage too, you want to try and get that zone charge up to max to make sure that Ouya Shota doesn't have the resources to pull off a killer zone. You want to keep that offense going.
I mean, Jam closed that gap pretty quickly. Currently, both players with full zone charge. I think just waiting for a good time to strike.
And I think
kind of.
Ouya Shota's looking. This might be the moments.
Yeah,
but a beautiful.
Ouya Shota's gonna. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I know it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah, Ouya Shota's pulling off the offensive here, and Jam kind of playing behind him, just trying to see to counteract everything. That's a lot of garbage to accept.
Oh, but we got down stack. All right,
yeah,
so
we do have a down.
Doing a little bit of living through phase 3. Wow, that's actually a really greedy zone from Jam. Not going to get a lot of extra damage out of it, but I think they just saw the value of getting all of that zone out at once. Oh no!
Poor judgment on that elbow. On that
I think
JP
that would have needed I think it would have needed a buffer IHS and IRS, which I mean is possible, but especially when you're going at these blistering speeds, is really easy to make an unfortunate misdrop through. Jam, do we get DPC 5-line DPC? No, we do not.
No, I don't think so.
It was close.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you should have just that garbage just landed on the sidewell for them, so they have to be a little creative.
Kind of just invoking the power of Classic here, just going with that right side Tetris well and just dropping him down, no problem.
All right, and let's see a little
immediately to the left side.
Well,
a bit of an L misdrop, but Ouya Shota fixes it very quickly and very nicely.
And Ouya Shota also has the speed where it's not really going to be too great of an issue for them to overcome. Wow, greeds for the Tetris setup there. Okay, and has quite a nice sidewell. Funnily enough, both players not letting that zone charge go. They're both pretty high up on the stack, so they want to push each other into defense to help recover their own stack. Because although zone can be a fantastic spot to be, if you're forced to zone first, your opponent gets to clean up while you're trying to do it within zone. And usually they'll be the ones winning the interaction in the long term.
Yeah. Right now Jam's in a bit of a weird predicament.
So yeah, Jam is first to zone, and look at
in the
this
zone,
board,
looking really clean. Looking really clean, gives us an opportunity for some efficient plays, clears it off with a 47 attack in 16 lines.
Oh, but this is
Shoda
perfectly
ready to
efficient.
retaliate, though.
Yeah,
Ooh.
49 and 17, and because of that late first zone, that's immediately pushed into phase 3, and that's a lot of clean garbage for Jam and not a lot of room to take it in. And so that's 3 straight from Puyo Shoda.
I think based off of these zones, I think it's been a little obvious now that the amount of lines you clear in zone isn't everything. The T-spins, combos, and that also, like, all the sort of special stuff that you've seen previously in modern Tetris still comes into effect when you're in the zone. Combos still have some weight in there. T-spins and Tetrises obviously have more weight. And there's a little more nuance to the amount of garbage you send based on how many lines you clear, but the technical nitty-gritty doesn't matter all that much.
It's a little difficult for Puyo Shoda to get to, just not
going to be
able to get.
Yeah, not able to get that last Tetris in during the zone, but Jam has a good opportunity to stack high and clear lines. 44 attack in 18. Trying to set up a T-spin triple here. Thanks to the garbage, gets a T-spin double as well.
Yeah, but right now, Puyo Shoda's got a little bit more zone meter advantage, so they might be able to have that first decision making. Once we get closer to that phase 3 garbage, you can see 50k points. We're getting close.
Yeah,
and Jam right now. Oh, they have to pop an early zone. That's going to be detrimental.
That's going to be detrimental, but you got to do whatever you can to stay in the game.
And right now, Puyo Shoda, phase 3 doesn't need a pop zone. They're just going to try and keep up this relentless offense. Setting up the T-spin triple at the bottom of the board, but there is a misdrop. And so we do see the zone out of Puyo Shoda.
Yeah, phase 3 is extremely scary. The garbage gets significantly messier. You get less time in the zone. A lot of things just kind of work against you here. Like it's kind of the game telling you to hurry it up or just lose.
Okay, there's pretty good down stack stuff from Puyo Shoda. I was gonna say it looked a little bit dangerous, but
yeah,
Puyo Shoda knows what's happening.
Jam has some nice ammunition here, though. Getting some nice floating T-spins. Just
Jam wanted to get that high over to the side. Finally gets over.
A little bit of hesitation there, but managed to get through it in the end. Still keeping that back-to-back going. Cuts it off with that double, but Puyo Shoda comes to the top here.
This is really greedy.
Yeah, things are looking really dangerous for Puyo Shoda, but Jam not really caring at all. Has a full zone charge ready, uses it here.
Oh, and down stacked up from Puyo Shoda. That's going to buy them about 15 lines worth of garbage and an extra bit of time to help build the zone meter.
Jam going to be able to clear all that incoming attack. Puyo Shoda has the zone at the ready. Going to be trying to downstack here, trying to mitigate as much as possible that Jam is sending. And it all neutralizes to one line over on Jam's side. That's an intense back and forth. Oh my goodness.
Folks, we have a volley going on.
Yeah, a volley.
Right, quarter zone from Jam, but Puyo Shoda has a half zone. This is going to be really hard for Jam to get back through.
Yeah, this is looking dicey. Ooh, that's a huge spike. Jam has really no choice but to zone right now or suffer the consequences. Going to be able to mitigate a good chunk of that with that 10-line zone. But
especially really good adaptation. They were willing to try and put an S piece over to the side, but it would have covered up that garbage. That foresight is happening perfectly, but unfortunately just runs out of room.
Yeah, here we see Puyo Shoda's endurance at work. 3.5 minutes, kind of just going placing 2 pieces per second, essentially. Everything was just like high octane throughout that entire thing. It's like trying to keep a sprint, like a real, just like sprint, like 100-meter dash going on for like a mile. Puyo Shoda just showed a lot of pressure that first round, and we're gonna have to see how Jam deals with this now that we're in match point.
Oh, Jam's got to be careful. Gets a lot of early pressure, and Puyo Shoda right now has a beautiful clean well.
Yeah. Ooh, and that misdrop. Things are looking dicey. Nice spin tuck to fix everything.
I would say at the very least, Jam is able to potentially get a second zone, but they're going to need to fly through it to avoid falling too far behind. It's a 62 zone.
Ooh. but that is some nice garbage.
That's actually perfect for Jam. This is what Jam needs.
Jam
needs a lot
needs
of
this,
garbage.
Gonna have to try and take advantage of this as much as possible. Has to squeeze out every line possible from this incoming attack. All this garbage on the board. Uyashoda keeping up that pressure, just making sure that Jam never sees the bottom.
Oh, they got an eye dependency over on the right side. That's going to be really difficult for Jam to sprint through. But it actually has a really solid down stack opportunity with that 5 combo. Little misstep at the end, and Uyashoda with some trouble on the Z pieces. Gonna force into some skims.
Yeah, has to. Uyashoda ending a zone early there, but Jam perfectly set up for some nice T-spins and Tetrises. Gonna be able to keep that efficiency going all the way up to 17 lines, 42 attack, mitigating a good chunk of that pressure.
Oh, no!
Unfortunate piece placement. Right when Uyashoda sent garbage. Oh.
That is not how you want a match to end. Ugh.
And Jam was like popping off on that offense.
Jam was really popping off.
105. But Uyashoda just does not care.
Jam had so many opportunities there. Like, had Uyashoda on the rope several times, but Uyashoda managed to push through all of that and just came back. That was really close. That was really close. Don't look at the numbers. The numbers don't mean anything here. Jam really did put up a very good fight here against Uyashoda.
There was a spot Jam had advantage in phase 3. Uyashoda was struggling a little bit earlier.
During game 4
like the middle spot. Yeah.
Game 4 there, Uyashoda was struggling a lot, and Jam had the upper hand, but Uyashoda managed to squeeze through and managed to skirt by. Jam unfortunately didn't have enough that round. Didn't have enough pressure that round to just like go through with it.
And especially when you have advantage in phase 3, the typical win condition that you'll see, especially from a lot of top players, because it's really hard to kind of stop out of going toe to toe with each other, is you need to force your opponent to keep spamming quarter zones over and over while you build a zone charge, and then you have to kind of beat them to the punch with your stronger zone attack. And I think the issue that Jam had was, especially for a lot of players, when you're in a speed disadvantage, that is a really hard thing to do because it forces your efficiency to go all the way to 11. And it is one of the most difficult things to do. And you'll see it every now and then, and it's absolutely incredible to watch. But Uyashoda, it doesn't matter how efficient you're playing. If you give them an inch, they will take the mile all the way through and regain their footing. And it is just it's hard. I can't lie. It's a very, very hard thing to try and play against a player of Uyashoda's caliber.
Yeah. And up next, we have a clash within the states. On Seed 4, we have Jaden, who is very well known amongst the modern Tetris community, especially in the West. Jaden made a recent showing, made a recent kind of accomplishment here by getting the first sub 25 second sprint in Tetris Effect, which is a very big milestone, seeing as previously the game had a sort of anti-cheat measure where it would just not accept scores under 25 seconds. But I mean, Jaden with a full replay and just full on proof shows that sub 25 is possible, and kind of just like breaking developer expectations there.
TEC players have done that a lot. I mean, we've got like the very first we have curve tris. We've got everything that happened beyond that as well, and now it's even gotten into the single player mode of Sprint with Jaden getting such an insanely fast set. Like, honestly, if you don't think that that's a big deal, go and watch the replay on Jaden's channel. It is phenomenal how much effort goes into a time like that.
Yeah, Jaden is pretty much known for her speed, especially in this game. Being able to do some really quick sprints, doing a lot of taking the world record in like speed runs of journey mode. Really knows the speed, but really just knows the efficiency as well. Getting really high scores in the journey mode as well. So speed and efficiency, the two core things you want to have. That's gonna be great. And on the other side, we have Super Nuba, who is a very strong really strong community player. Plays in a lot of community tournaments. Has been rapidly improving in all of them. I personally know them best from PPT. They do, but they have been playing a lot of TC as well, and has been doing a lot of improvement there. Also, earlier claimed to not belong in this tournament, but I mean, currently seeded 5th. So that's. I think that's a swift. I think that's a pretty good example of having to eat your words. But yeah,
Super Nuba is just honestly they're around in like even just outside of tournaments. I think Super Nuba just generally hangs around a lot of community spaces too, which I find really interesting. And I mean, not only that, but just like I don't know. I feel like Super Nuba doesn't really have like the most like noticeable like aspect of their playstyle. Like if you think of a lot of other Western players, you say like, Jaden, sprint player, you'll definitely see elements of trying to just make sure to go fast. You think of a player like OSW or someone like Rikuo, where just the creativity is what sparks that ignition in their tank. Supernova just seems like one of the most all-arounders that I can think of on the Western scene. And a lot of times it's I guess we're probably gonna plug this more, so I'll wrap this up. But it's one of the easiest things to overlook and can take you by surprise.
Yeah, speaking of surprises, we have a surprise right here. We are currently getting away copies of TEC Tetris Effect Connected, both game codes and the signed copy you see here. So you can get a chance to win a signed physical copy of Tetris Effect Connected, signed by Alexei Pajitnov and Hank Rogers. The two big Tetris figureheads. All you need to do is go over to the. All you need to do is type in Block Party, one word, all lowercase, on the Classic Tetris Twitch channel, and you will be entered to win either a game code or the physical edition. Who knows? All lowercase, one word. I see a lot of people typing in caps because I think they're excited about this. But you need to hold in your excitement just for a second. It is all lowercase.
I mean, well, is it case sensitive?
I believe so.
I haven't tested it.
I believe so. You could type it. We're getting a maybe it's case insensitive. Either way,
to be 100% certain, do lowercase. If you feel a little risque, maybe you can type it in all caps and see if it works out. But we are not responsible in case you were not included in the raffle and you typed it in all caps. But oh man, I will say having a signed copy of a game is definitely something that I would not have looked back on a couple years ago with like just TEC in general. But I'm glad we have stuff like that going on in the scene. Yeah, the physical editions, Xbox and PS5. We had the Switch ones, but those were given away during CTWC, as Austin mentioned earlier. Thanks to everyone who stopped by that booth if you were at CTWC. I heard it was a pretty good time. Yeah, CTWC was a wonderful time. Anyways, here we go. So we've got two of the West's best, Jaden versus Super Nuba. We saw a clash. We saw a clash in Japan. Now we're seeing clash over here in the West. Jaden versus Super Nuba. Both players just immediately going for a what is known as 6-3 stacking. It is a form of freestyle that is I don't know for the exact reason, but it's kind of been widely agreed to be the fastest way to stack. Which, I mean, if you're going to play sprint or like speedrun journey mode, you obviously would probably go with the fastest freestyle stacking form. Well, Jaden has a little bit of trouble higher up on her stack. Super Nuba right now has pretty clean LST, which does give them the opportunity to be really efficient. This is a wee bit of a greedy setup. 54, so still wins the interaction, but not by a terribly substantial amount. So Jaden, she's not going to have too much trouble taking a couple lines on her board. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both players. I mean, both players are in a pretty stable state. Supernuba is at a slight disadvantage board-wise, but I mean, able to quickly rectify that with some efficient plays. Jaden still applying pressure, but Supernuba is able to handle it and has a very nice board state to boot. Going to be able to use T-spins, enter the zone here.
Ooh.
Calling to be really efficient.
Does have to break back-to-back. I think Jaden actually only did it right towards the top. 47, 45, almost identical.
Very close.
And so this will probably be the closest we've seen players enter phase 3 tonight. And so it's really going to come down to garbage management now.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that phase 3 is supposed to be a sort of like end game. These players can have a tendency to reach it within 2 minutes.
Oh, Jaden, look at this side
really greeting hard.
wide.
Yeah, trying to get that side 4 wide going. Really optimizing the combo, which is a pretty powerful tool, but actually kind of subdued in comparison to how it is in PPT. And here's an Imperial Cross, which gives Jaden the opportunity to do 2 T-spin doubles in a unusual looking setup.
All right, so now Supernova is a bit of a high zone out of them, so I'm not entirely sure how well things will go, but they did a really good job down stacking through.
And
however,
Jaden here in the zone doing the side 4 wide. But unfortunately, yeah, the pieces were not on her side. That is not going to be the strongest zone out there, but it's still going to be enough for Supernuba to have to enter zone and try to counteract that. Jaden still applying the pressure here in phase 3. The garbage is extremely
Oh my goodness,
messy.
look at this down stack from Supernuba though. Almost a 10 combo, and that, again, a lot of times in these sorts of sets, Jaden will use the advantage of their opponent kind of like down stacking without setting a lot of garbage to set up that side 4 wide in record time. But because Supernova did such a good job earlier, she hasn't been able to do that. Oh no, but she might not need to. There's a lot of garbage.
Yeah, that's a lot, and it's not gonna be enough. Well, it's not. Supernuva's not gonna have enough in time for that garbage to be incoming. Jaden's gonna take that first point.
And especially for Supernova playing under 120, so just a hair under 2 pieces per second.
Yeah.
Not the
and there's an all
thing
clear
to do. Oh, that's an eyepiece misdrop.
Quick spy over to Supernuba. Supernova was not prepared for that.
Did not have a skim on the board. That's gonna be our fastest round yet. 10 seconds.
Oh, and the fact that eyepiece came really late in the second bag for or it might have been third bag at that point, I think. Just it's a real heartbreaker because there's just not a lot in that scenario of kind of what to do. Just it happens to the best. Oh, and speaking of happens to the best, hold on, Jaden's board is a little suspect. Oh,
yeah,
okay,
but manages to downstack it, clean it up very nicely. Supernuba, just sticking with this very clean 6-3 stack. Jaden entering the zone, doing a lot of T-spins on the way up here, just really playing that efficient game. T-spinning up to 14 lines, has close to the top, trying to skim for that ulti, but that is 62 attack in 19 lines. Supernuba's going to be able to counteract that with his own zone here.
So although it might be a little confusing, 54, that's not higher than 62. Well, a little bit of extra play that Supernova had outside of the zone is going to make sure they're not losing that interaction anytime soon. Yeah, and definitely given how...
Given how...
well, I was going to make a comment on phase 3, but I mean, we're already here. The train has left the station, and Jaden...
the bell has rung.
Jaden is trying to conduct this train over to Supernuba's demise. However, Supernuba's been doing a really solid job of keeping this board low. Goes for a really nice zone, most of it through a combo, but Jaden doesn't have a lot of time to build up anything substantial. We do see the fractal, though, and that's going to be really nice for her going into her zone. Oh, is it C-spin? Yo, C-spin time.
Yeah, the
C-spin double. That's so efficient.
Yeah, 59 attack in phase 3. Supernuba's going to have a lot to work with here. Well, have a lot to deal with, rather. But manages to downstack, neutralizes a good chunk of it. Here's a C-spin for Supernuba. Getting, well, only a T-spin single on that second part, but still playing really efficiently.
Oh, Jaden's trying to set up for this 4 wide.
and
Does
enters
get the
zone with
combo
it.
off and
Gets it in
the full
zone. That's
combo,
gonna be
13 lines out of it.
And that's going to be a staggering 43 attack with not a lot for Super Nuba to be able to counteract with. Doesn't have a T-spin ready, but manages to set one up right before starting the zone. But the question is this going to be enough? I feel like Jaden's still applying a lot of pressure here. This Q is looking endless for Super Nuba. It's going to be a long race out of this tunnel.
Yeah, because not only do you have to be careful how you downstack in the zone, you have to make sure you have resources
that,
out of it.
And that Z misdrop or not would have topped Super Nuba out here, and Jaden's going to be taking that third game. We've been seeing a lot of sweeps so far, but Super Nuba still has a chance to come back from this. And quite frankly, I still believe in the dream.
And what is it?
Super Nuba takes a point.
Is that only a dream?
It's entirely possible.
Oh, hold on. Oh, maybe a little side ties action from Super Nubo. Maybe a little bit. Okay. Manages to clean up that stack really nicely. And Jaden using those S and Zs perfectly to help prop. We see the fractal does come out. Gonna be going for a T-spin double. Reopens that well in 6-3 fashion. Almost running out of pieces to put on the side, but that's a perfect.
That's a very clean ulti. 65 attack.
I think the only thing that would have made that more efficient is more T-spins and less Tetrises, but the fact that it was already that clean to begin with was insane. 59 ulti from Super Nuba and still nearly a full quart of garbage.
But that garbage is very clean. Super Nuba's able to deal with it very quickly, but I think the biggest thing that Super Nuba should be dealing with is Jaden's pressure. That eye misdrop, kind of missing that opportunity for a Tetris. Things are looking a bit dire as Jaden continues to send garbage very quickly, very efficiently over to Super Nuba. We have entered phase 3. Jaden entering zone. Super Nuba just trying to desperately find a way to get some attack in. Holding off on the zone, waiting until Jaden sends something over.
We can see Super Nuba does have a pretty efficient board to work with. T-pieces are not as plentiful in the queue as they may like, but the downstack might help contribute.
And the downstack's enough to neutralize the rest of that garbage queue. Jaden also just retaliating with a lot of efficient garbage still. Not giving Super Nuba any room to breathe, really.
Oh no, Super Nuba is
once again setting up another side 4 wide, setting up another combo in this zone, but it's going to get cut off there by that hole in the stack. Super Nuba has a whole ordeal to deal with right now. This is just
about 20 lines. However, Jaden has plenty of time while Super Nuba's in the zone to send some extra credit garbage, and I think that might be the difference if Jaden's able to get out enough pressure. And it looks
manages
like
to
might be,
tanky.
but Super Nuba has a good downstack in the works.
Yeah, Super Nuba is able to tank a good amount of those garbage lines, but in this sort of situation, you probably don't want to be doing that as much as Super Nuba is. Super Nuba's still downstacking.
Look at that T-spin single. The combo is at 11, 12, 13. How far are we going?
Hello?
And Jaden tries Jaden tried to greed with that quarter zone, try to say, no, you're not getting out of disadvantage. And Super Nuba said, actually, no, I am going to get out of this disadvantage because this downstack is immaculate and I'm going to bring it to its full potential.
Yeah, Super Nuba's doing a fantastic job of just sticking through with this, staying in the game, continuing the downstack. Bit of a risky play to sacrifice that T-piece for the T-spin, but managed to get another in time.
Oh, Super Nuba's gonna try and
in zone with a full charge. Could get a good amount of lines here. Up to 15, 17, gets a nice 18, 42 attack. Jaden still.
Oh, but look how fast that was from Jaden. Basically,
and that's a
he didn't
huge
have to play.
Garbage.
Super Nuba had 0 time outside of zone, and the 1 Z misdrop.
That's what ends it.
Oh my! But an attack, but the Z misdrop on Super Nuba's board, that's going to be what ends that round. What a staggering survival, but unfortunately, Jaden's taking it to match point. Are we going to see another sweep? Are we going to see the trifecta of sweeps, or is Super Nuba going to finally break that streak? Jaden with a with a very huge clean stack here. Super Nuba really trying to just...
Oh my goodness. That was...
Oh, this is
a really dangerous spot to play Seto.
Things are looking mighty precarious here.
Should be a way to rotate that piece in.
Yep,
And we can see...
using the advantage of SRS to just keep the stack clean.
And Jaden has pushed it completely into phase 2 with a little bit of change. Neither player feels comfortable to zone. They don't want to let that offense rip just yet.
It's like neither player really feels comfortable with their offensive situation.
Oh.
But Super Nuba's gonna take a pitch at it anyways, give it the good college try.
This has still been completely clean from Super Nuba.
Yeah, maintaining
At
that
13,
in
another
the zone.
T-spin double.
Yeah,
Jaden
going to LSD freestyle up to 19. Could see a 20, but not really. 61 versus 62. But Jaden having a bit more in the zone.
And the fact that that went to phase 3 as well is going to work wonders for Jaden. And I think the double T that might close it out. Some really bad RNG on those pieces. But Super Nuba, if we can get another miracle down stack, it might be possible.
Yep, using as many zones as possible to just try and stop time, try and mitigate any incoming garbage. Jaden really trying to get that Ren game going.
All right, Super Nuba has a little bit of breathing room, but Jaden's going to let a 3/4 zone rip in order to build up this combo well. We'll have to see if it pays out for her. She does get to 16. 51, I think that's going to be worth it. And Super Nuba only has a quarter zone to work with. This is... Oh, man. Oh, color clear on the downset combo. Jaden's trying to secure the win with another quick combo. Only gets 12 extra lines out of it. Super Nuba also only gets 7. Finds a T-spin. Gonna get another quarter zone to work with.
Oh my goodness. Super Nuba's really just trying to dig out of this tunnel. Jaden putting more dirt at the exit.
This is literally a quarter zone battle between both players. Funnily enough.
Yeah, both players are just trying to get just trying to play as quickly as possible to try and get some more garbage in. Super Nuba only getting a T-spin double in that zone. Jaden using this to just really using
Super
this
Nuba's having to be really careful.
And there's a huge queue here. Things are looking very, very dire for Super Nuba.
Okay, we do see the skim with the T. Super Nuba has been doing a phenomenal job.
Doing a phenomenal job of finding that down stack. Finds a T-spin double despite all of that. But is that going to be enough? I don't think these pieces really work out in Super Nuba's favor. Using IRS to stay alive, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Oh my goodness.
And you can definitely see the offense started to plummet as Super Nuba was forced deeper and deeper into defense. Jaden, again, didn't need to use those corner zones, but on a couple of occasions, that really forced Super Nuba to be very careful with that down stack. We have not seen anyone play defense quite like Super Nuba there with some of that incredible down stack play. But at the end of the day, the speed from Jaden is going to help push her to another win as she advances into our top 4 with only one more match to go.
We have a trifecta of sweeps right now. Sake Gohan taking one, Uya Shota taking one, Jaden now just taking one. But had to really fight for it against Super Nuba there. We're going to have to see if this next match here, OSW versus Iwashi Seijin. We'll have to see if OSW can keep this sweep streak going, or if we're gonna see a deviation from this.
And so I will have it be known as well, because a lot of times, especially with how we portray a lot of our top Japanese talent as these kind of like untouchable figures of, just like Tetris perfection. OSW made it through the top 4 in the time 1 slot and took Uyoshoda to a game 5 out of a best of 5, which in a lot of situations is kind of unheard of. But OSW just like it always seems like they blow expectations out of the water And it keeps going up and up from there. Every single time they enter a tournament, they look better and better. I don't understand where the peak's supposed to be at, because OSW just keeps climbing this mountain and keeps finding a way to go up and up.
Yeah.
Oh,
But here we are. We have the next two players. Wait.
well,
Oh.
if
Looks
OSW
like
wins, this will be a matchup. But,
Shen, I think, is
not
showing a
quite.
bit too hasty of a prediction here. But
Over,
OSW, yeah, here we go. OSW versus Iwashi Seijin. As Deva has been kind of talking here earlier, OSW, one of the strongest Western players of modern Tetris. This morning, I heard that he played this morning and lost to Uya Shota, 2-3. Is well known for his ability to play extremely fast and recover quickly from misdrops. I'm just gonna quote this quickly from the stream notes. A proud American. But we do have our first clash of East versus West, as the other side is Iwashi Seijin, mainly plays PPT2, as a lot of Japanese players tend to do, but plays a lot of PPT2, doesn't have a lot of experience in Tetris Effect. So we could see a bit of a dark horse performance here, just a bit of an unexpected showing. But overall, I mean, with the unpredictability of someone who hasn't played a lot of TEC, who knows what will happen.
I do remember seeing a little bit from. I'm trying to remember which player was talking about it, because it's hard for me to remember exactly what like Japanese players are always talking about in their community, because again, I'm not fluent Japanese. But I do remember a couple of tweets were going around, because a lot of PPT players, especially like the big names from the Japanese community, have been trying out TEC recently and have been doing a really good job. So a lot of like the TEC mains especially have been having a lot of difficulty with players that historically have stuck with PPT the entire way through. But those fundamentals, especially for phase 3 downstack, something that we kind of really only seen from Supanuba tonight so far. Although I will give them credit, Rikuo and Jam didn't get a lot of chances to show phase 3 downstacking. But I mean, that sometimes can be the secret sauce to turn an L into a W. And it is very terrifying, regardless of what your offense or defense looks like, to face a player that just seems to come out of nowhere with these insane downstacks that go well beyond 5-10 and sometimes even 15.
All right, and before we start this match, we're going to be doing one of our giveaways for a copy of Tetris Effect Connected. So if you want to try and win that, type in Block Party over on the Classic Tetris channel. One word, no spaces. Case doesn't matter apparently. But type in Block Party, and now will be your last chance to get it. Well, you'll have plenty more chances, but this is your last chance to get this specific copy, because, I mean, we don't have infinite copies to give away. So make sure you're. Yeah, this is currently for the game code. The physical copy, I believe, we're doing at the end of the stream. I got a confirmation. Yeah, the signed copy will be at the very end. So just.
That's the one we got to be a little bit. You have to stick around for the whole stream for that one.
Yeah, you got to stick around. You got to stick around for that beautiful signed copy.
But I will say, if you're only sticking around for that signed copy and you have no intention of watching the incredible TEC gameplay, I hope you'll stay for the TEC gameplay, because you might not expect to. But it is quite a spectacle to witness. I mean, we've already got to see a couple elements of it right now. I mean, obviously the sweeps are quite impressive in their own right. But especially when we start seeing some back-end force at, nearly 2.5 pieces per second on guideline, it is crazy. All right, and I think we'll be getting underway a little bit shortly here, just making sure both of our players are ready. Are we allowed to? Are we permitted? Okay, yeah. So OSW fell asleep.
Oh, goodness me.
But they are now OS awake.
We're getting things short. We're getting things shortly covered, and I mean we have our winner. I believe we have Galaxian. Galaxian has won the giveaway for a copy of TEC. So if you end up winning the giveaway, you can message Shen in any way, shape, or form through Discord or through Twitch. And you'll work out details, and you can quickly start to enjoy this game some more.
I mean, it's a fantastic game. Obviously, I'm a little biased in speaking from experience, but if you're gonna try out any sort of official guideline game between PPT, T99, or Tech, like this is definitely by far my best recommendation for any player getting into Tetris at this time. I mean, not only has it been wonderful working with Enhance on a lot of special events and things that have just been really fun to work with in the Tetris community, but also, I think the way that the garbage works really does help new players get a feel for things rather than just kind of send you into the nightmare that sometimes can be PPT2 garbage system. With the ability of Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, you can kind of have like that experience of, okay, so here's how you deal with clean garbage, and usually it's a little easier. People are able to pick it up pretty fast. And then Phase 2, you start getting that glimpse of what messy garbage looks like, but it's still usually doable just because of the way there will still be clean. And then once you're proficient enough in that, you will get to Phase 3 on a lot of your games, and it really tests your limit of how well you can foresight some of your downstacks, because that is one of the hardest things to round out your skill set, but it is one of the most vital to make sure that you don't get stuck only playing offense and that you have a really strong defense to round out your skill set.
Yeah. Yeah. OSW. Okay. We're still waiting a bit on OSW. Kind of. OSW does have a sort of a track record of incidents. Previously, spilling water on his laptop, therefore having to drive over to a friend's house to use their computer.
I can't believe that even worked out to begin with. Like, there's just like,
I'm surprised it worked. Yeah, I'm surprised it worked out, and I'm surprised like.
I feel like whenever that happened, it was always like, oh well, better luck next time. Stop spilling water on your keyboard or what have you.
But here we go. Iwashi Seijin is now in the lobby. OSW's here. Things are starting, and we can finally round out top 4 with this.
And I will say, I am really curious to see how Iwashi Seijin does play to TEC. Because again, a lot of PPT2 veterans have been very strong in this format. But I legitimately, like, even a lot of the Japanese players today, I have seen to some capacity. I have not seen Iwashi Seijin play.
Yeah,
so
no, this is actually my first experience. I think I've seen like a few things around. I think I've seen a few people talk about Iwashi Seijin, but I've never actually seen their playing like firsthand. So you get to experience it with us, really. And I mean, so far, first impressions are looking great, putting a lot of pressure on OSW already. But we are still in Phase 1, just now transitioning over to Phase 2.
So one of the things that will never cease to amaze me is the way that OSW continues to greed for just setups that seem to be borderline impossible, but OSW manages to find a way. Actually goes through and almost tanks the entire zone from Iwashi Seijin before deciding to zone on their own A little bit of an odd choice, but still gets a really strong zone. However, that's a lot of clean. Immediately goes back over to OSW right after a misdrop. Okay, there are solutions. Oh, and Iwashi Seijun so dirty, going to get a zone in right before that phase 3 cutoff. Well, actually, but OSW though, after that misdrop from Iwashi Seijun, OSW managed to get a lot of zone charge. And although that's a 54 Perfectress, OSW has the speed. They might be able to make it out of this, but it is going to be quite the Herculean task.
Yeah, has to still accept some garbage after that zone, but overall, still in an okay board state. A few lines of messy garbage, but OSW kind of just stacking on top of that. Meanwhile, Iwashi Seijun setting up setting up a nice dirty Tetris there.
Oh,
and there's a T-spin, weird T-spin double action there. And here comes a down stack as we are well into phase 3. Both players dealing with really messy garbage, gonna have to rely on their down stacking skills in order to clear this. Oh, with the misdrop. Has to use zone here to try and stay alive. Unfortunately, very close to the top of the board. This is a good time for good time for Iwashi Seijun to try and strike back. Tried to set up a side forward, I think, but just didn't have the right pieces to continue it.
Well, 32 lines, OSW. Oh, another misdrop though.
Yep. Ooh, a few misdrops there.
Oh, and even another, just the chain reaction. And Iwashi Seijun, I mean, look at this performance. It's almost evenly matched with OSW, but that extra zone efficiency is what's going to give them the win.
Yeah.
Oh no, and another early misdrop from OSW.
OSW, wake up.
This is not the time, unfortunately.
There's a lot at stake here. Unfortunately, this is not the best thing to wake up to. But I mean, handling it pretty well. Still handling it pretty well. Like, all these plays really well done, really efficient, still very clean, even with the garbage. But we're transitioning over to phase 2 now. It's not going to be as fortunate. OSW stacking 2 T-spin doubles on top of each other.
And make that 3. OSW just keeping this 7-2 stack. And, I mean, well, never mind. Okay, cleaned up to the garbage.
Still keeping the back-to-back going.
OSW's been clean this entire time.
Hasn't dropped a single Tetris or T-spin double yet. That might change soon, but so far, no.
Is it? I don't know. I don't think OSW wants to, and sometimes when
OSW doesn't want to, but I mean, at a certain point, you're gonna have to cash out.
Do you?
Now is not the time. Now is not the time. Hey, I'm not saying OSW. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it is happening. I'm just saying it will, and there it is.
I mean, 18 lines into a zone going into phase 3. That's a pretty late time to break back-to-back, I will say.
That is a late time, but now, I mean, now is where things start to matter. Things are starting,
really
like,
good.
stakes are a lot higher. You can't make as many mistakes. You need to play as clean as... OSW needs to basically play as clean as he was earlier if he wants to guarantee a victory. But, I mean, Iwashi Seijun...
Ooh, and I really like that. Just set up those 2 T-spin doubles and then a little bit of extra combo. Make sure to get that zone out
piece isn't
really
going
fast.
anywhere. That zone's gonna end early. Gonna have to take a few lines of garbage. It's not the end of the world, but I mean, you kind of don't want to deal with those in general. Iwashi Seijun, meanwhile, already has 2 T-spins ready.
Is that a donated ST? Okay, no. I thought OSW was going for some insane setup there with that misdrop, but I mean, honestly, if the down stack works, don't fix it. All right, now both players pretty low on the board. Okay, I mean, of course, as soon as I try to comment on things, OSW has a bit of misdrop. And Iwashi Seijun gets that board all the way down to ground level 0. Does have an eyepiece misdrop, but a beautiful ice spin will help clean that up right quick. All right, 42 out of 14, but OSW, also known for their speed, might be able to try and get a little bit
really
more
high,
mileage
really
out of this.
efficiently, up to 19. Could get the curb Tris right here.
Unfortunately, not quite. So close.
Like, one piece needed to be placed properly, but that was just not happening. But OSW's board looking mighty clean now. Iwashi Seijun kind of playing on the back foot here. Currently at the disadvantage, kind of has to play defensively. OSW putting as much pressure as he can. I think truly has started to wake up from this incident.
Oh no, was that a misdrop on Iwashi Seijun? I think it might have been. Oh, and the eyepiece has to go over the garbage well. Beautiful donations on T-spins though, keeps it completely clean and almost has no issues cleaning up their stack in the process. But unfortunately, I think OSW's been given a little bit too much wiggle room.
Yeah, Iwashi Seijun has quite a bit of garbage to mitigate. This zone might send a pretty good counter, but oh, not really. No. I mean,
that was such a beautiful job cleaning up that stack from Iwashi Seijun.
Yeah, but unfortunately not efficient, it seems.
I mean, as long as you're not immediately topped out, that's a win in my book.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do anything you can to stay alive. And here we are, OSW setting up that T-spin double. Has a nice clean left side well, drops a T-spin double on top. Setting a lot of floatings to just skim to make a Tetris. Ooh, but a few misdrops here. That's going to give Iwashi Seijun enough. That's the inch Iwashi Seijun's turning into a mile. And now
OSW keeps that board really low, which is still very good to have.
But this zone incoming is going to be dangerous.
And this is going to be a dangerous OSW, or Iwashi Seijun only has to counter about 10 lines. And so that's going to need to be a 40-ish zone for OSW to neutralize. They can get something incredibly efficient, might be worth it.
Just to stay alive. 48 attack, that's going to be able to neutralize, send some garbage over. Both players still even. We are 5.5 minutes into this round. This is the second round of the match.
I mean, we were talking earlier, like, hey, maybe we'll get some really good volleys coming in here with the later half of our matches. And OSW and Iwashi Seijun definitely putting on quite a performance.
That's the equivalent of like a 30-minute rally when the score is only 15 love.
Exactly. I was going to make a tennis analogy, too.
They're just going back and forth. This is actually just a tennis match right now. Like, make sure, like, if you guys need snacks, be sure to like get them right now. Like, try, like, if you can't keep your eyes off the screen right now as these players are going back and forth, I can't blame you. But you also might want to take care of yourself. Get some snacks, get some water. We might be here for a while.
OSW is trying to make sure that's not the case, though. 57 out of a Deca Hexatris. Right now, Iwashi Seijun also has a beautiful stack to work with. You can see the S's and the Z's getting propped perfectly up to 15 lines. We see another T-spin. Oh my goodness, 52, but that extra speed from OSW outside of zone will help push Iwashi Seijun up beyond the top of the board.
Iwashi Seijun continuing this down stack, able to stay alive, but those O's and that T misdrop, things that might slow things down a bit.
And
no, not really.
Enough, Iwashi Seijun is unfazed.
Iwashi Seijun still playing the back foot, but like that whole mishap didn't really affect his playing all that much.
OSW is trying to go for an ulti, finds it at 60 damage.
Yeah.
Iwashi Seijun working on a down stack.
Oh, that is a
beautiful job.
Incoming. Gonna have to use zone now or suffer a huge wall of cheese. And I mean, as tasty as cheese sounds right now, you don't want to be dealing with it when you're playing this game.
And I at one point had a really good start to it, but misdropped a T-spin.
Oh, but there's still a down stack potential here. Gonna be able to
They're
mitigate
gonna
a
have to
good chunk
send
of
a
it, but
zone,
that's
but
not
they
gonna be
can't-
enough. OSW tying it up after nearly 8 minutes of going back and forth. 1-all, if we're gonna keep this tennis analogy going. Oh my
And you can
goodness.
see, even though it's not the biggest of speed gap, the fact that Iwashi Seijun's able to keep up pretty close to OSW is very, very impressive. But at the end of the day, you gotta find a way to earn that win condition, and against OSW, that's a very, very difficult thing to find. All right, OSW seems to be doing quite well, keeping that board at a relatively consistent height towards the middle of the board. Iwashi Seijun a little bit up and down, but sometimes it's what you need in these matchups. Ooh, and a really interesting zone there from Iwashi Seijun, gonna cause a couple of burns to happen. Oh no, no IRS is gonna force an early top out, 14 lines. Gonna try to get a little bit more out of it, but OSW going to get that ulti 61. And although there's a lot of garbage, it's still phase 2. Iwashi Seijun is okay.
Accepting a lot there, but that is good potential for later down the line. Just get some T-spins and Tetrises going down that well. There's some TPs
OSW
down.
now needs to be careful. That phase 3 is coming in soon.
Yeah, things are looking a little dicey. OSW shouldn't be playing so cavalier right now. Just just has to play a little safer, but here's the down stack. Kind of getting out of the thick of it. Still a lot to deal with. We're in phase 3 now. The garbage is going to get messy once again and take up a majority of this round if last round was enough of a metric to go by.
You can see OSW this round is kind of opting for a couple of some down stack opportunities to keep that damage high. Meanwhile, Iwashi Seijun has just been playing perfectly clean. Unfortunately, a little misdrop there. Not the greatest, but
getting some nice overhang. Yeah, gets a nice overhang to deal with it.
To fix that up.
Mm-hmm. Gets up to 14 lines, a 38 attack coming from Iwashi Seijun. OSW currently at 13 lines.
Oh,
OSW with a 51 attack.
Ulti. And given how well Iwashi Seijun has been playing already, that might have been an essential ulti for OSW. Little misdrop on the eye as well. Gonna be trying to get that forecast on that T-spin double. Manages to cash out on it, and Iwashi Seijun's under some trouble after one misdrop.
Yeah.
And especially, like a zone at that point in the board does give you some breathing room. But
I'm just so
hypnotized right now. That's a 3/4 zone. Really quick top out. And that's going to force Iwashi Seijun down on resources. Has to rely on that downstack combo to even work their way up to some zones. And the Z gets stuck, and I think that's going to do it for game 3.
Oh my goodness, these two going back and forth.
Dude,
All
Iwashi
these matches
Seijun has kept... Look at the zone APM from Iwashi Seijun, 315. And although still loses the match, that is exactly the kind of stats we're going to need to see from Iwashi Seijun to keep up with the pressure from OSW. And it is not out of the question that Iwashi Seijun could pull off a win in this set.
Yeah. I'm utterly like just flabbergasted. I'm just like hypnotized by the plays that both of these players have been showing so far. We're not even like halfway through the max amount of rounds.
It's hard not to be hypnotized sometimes, especially with the way Zone kind of exacerbates that problem a little bit. Oh, little
right.
Z-spin there.
Starting the zone at the very bottom, that is a pretty big risk. Having to do a lot of upstacking while in the zone, but OSW...
Oh my goodness, ulti for Iwashi Seijun, followed immediately by an all-clear. And Iwashi Seijun's going to set up for this 4-wide. One of the best options for maintaining.
Ooh,
this is going to send some really bad garbage
right now.
This could
there's
some
a
really
huge
garbage, but...
this is going to be nasty. This could be extremely nasty, but OSW is actually on the offensive right now. Iwashi Seijun actually didn't send a whole lot over. If anything, he was the recipient there. Oh my goodness.
And oh no, Obie's misdrop. Oh, OSW's gotta be careful.
Misdrop ends the zone early. That's a 40 attack. We're gonna have to see what Iwashi Seijin is going to do here.
Yeah, Iwashi Seijin has about 20 lines to counter, but they had a full zone meter, if I'm not mistaken, and a really clean board to boot. And OSW, thankfully with that play during zone, is going to be able to keep them alive, but not really in a comfortable spot. They're going to still need to keep working in order to free themselves from all this cheese.
Yeah, oh my goodness. OSW, look at this down stack. It's not a perfect combo, but that's still a lot to go through. That's just so efficient. That's just so quick. Gonna be able to just deal with whatever Iwashi Seijin is sending him. Both players at max zone. I think someone's waiting for the first strike.
My goodness, Iwashi Seijin might be. Oh no, okay,
Ooh,
finds
there's
a way to keep
triple
that stack
from
low.
OSW.
Oh, it's gonna have to be a zone, but it's really high up for Iwashi Seijin. That sacrifices a lot of that really good zone meter, and OSW sees that that's a potential reason they are able to cash on in that zone extremely fast.
Ooh, not able. Oh, misdropping that eye, ending it shortly, but that's still 54 attack. That's still a lot for Iwashi Seijin to do, especially with a quarter zone. That's a huge chunk of garbage.
Oh, team is still
still in this.
From OSW.
But not out. Down, but not out. OSW. Ooh.
The team misdrop, I think, quite literally keeps Iwashi Seijin alive. Although you got to be at peak efficiency because you don't want to make. You want to make sure that gift of extra life is not living on borrowed time. A beautiful eye spin. Honestly, even though it's not a greedy setup, one of the riskiest things to do.
All right, I think people here are flexing their knowledge of the rotation system here a little too much. That is such a greedy thing. That is such a dangerous thing to go for in this sort of environment where your opponent is able to basically match your moves almost 1-to-1. This is extremely crazy right now. This is so unbelievable. We're reaching the 4-minute mark.
Oh, T.
What misdrop? Oh no!
Right, the zone APM took a hit a little bit from both players, but the APM did not. OSW, as the smoke clears, emerges out with a 3-1 lead currently, and has
moving
not dropped the
on,
game.
taking the lead. Running away with the lead right now. OSW having the advantage here. Gonna be using this Tetris well to just get some extra combo in.
Iwashi Seijin had a really nice all clear earlier on, and OSW just, again, just the embodiment of this does not faze me. I do not care. I'm going to play my own game.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's a bit of a rough time to go into zone, especially after a misdrop, but saves the fractal.
A few unfortunate situations here, but OSW maintaining T-spins all the way up to the top of the zone, up to 17 lines, 19, gets the ulti, a staggering 63 attack, and Iwashi Seijin doesn't have the best board state right now, has to zone right now or suffer the consequences.
And especially with a misdrop like that, it really hurts your ability to accept any garbage coming in from your opponent's zone. And because of the way it's sent on a full zone meter, that's just so much to tank in one go that it's quite literally not an option.
Yeah, quarter zone here, continuing the down stack. Very close to the top of the board. Things are looking a bit precarious here for Iwashi Seijin. OSW keeping things going, setting up greedy T-spin triple tower, stacking 2 T-spin triples on top of each other with a T-spin double at the bottom to boot. OSW, I mean, really showing off the flashy plays right now. But I mean, flashy also means efficient.
It's a really jagged board right now from Iwashi Seijin. This is one of the hardest spots here.
Oh, and that Q is
really been having to dig out of.
This Q is looking deadly. Let's see what Iwashi Seijin can do. Has a good down stack potential. But not quite with those piece placements, unfortunately. Match point here for OSW.
We can see
Oh
OSW really relying on that speed now. Again, has seen speed work out on a lot of our top 4 seeds. Has been playing with that card now very carefully, and it seems to be working out for them. Oh, Washi Seijun's board. This is gotta be really big careful. Okay, 15 and 10, but at the very least, it's still phase 1, and OSW respectively also has a little bit of trouble high up on the board.
Those misdrops, I think, will even each other out at least somewhat. But right now, I mean, clean garbage. There's not much you can do to try and tip this match in your favor unless your opponent does something extremely unfortunate. Neither player's going to do that as we transition into phase 2, though. Washi Seijun starting a zone here, playing efficiently with the zone. Just getting a bunch of Tetrises, get some T-spins towards the top. Going up to 18 lines, gets the 19. A very nice 64 attack.
I'm pretty sure Washi Seijun hasn't even been using IRS at all in this set. Getting in a zone as efficient as that, I mean, like, I think we've quite literally only seen that out of players like Flare and Firestorm. And Washi Seijun now trying to put their name in the books.
Yeah, I mean,
a little bit of...
this is... Well, for Washi Seijun's first showing in a TEC tournament, I mean, I don't think I could ask for a better first impression.
And especially against a player as capable as OSW, this is just phenomenal.
Yeah. Like, I mean, IRS trying to, like... If Washi Seijun can use the power of, like, rotating a piece before it spawns on the board...
Oh, no!
Yeah,
See, like, if Washi Seijun knew what Iros was, that wouldn't have happened, but unfortunately, it looks like this round is ending prematurely with an unfortunate misdrop. OSW taking it away, and Washi Seijun breaking the 5-0 sweep curse in top 8. OSW, unfortunately, not going to be able to get the sweep. But what a great first impression from Washi Seijun.
Again, I'm very curious to see if Washi Seijun keeps playing in TEC event. That is quite a formidable tournament debut in a TEC event. Taking a game off of a player like OSW, again, who got top 4 at square one, has historically, again, unless you see another top name, has almost just kind of like unwillingly won every single TEC event that they come across. And if not, they're very close to first. I mean, that's not an easy first opponent to have. And Washi Seijun did such a wonderful job keeping up with that. And in fact, took a game as well to boot, which in TEC is not the easiest thing to pull off.
Yeah, I think that PPT2 downstacking knowledge is really bringing an effect here. Like, that's really coming into play, especially against someone like OSW, who is also familiar with that game. Oh my goodness, what a show. What a wonderful first match. Unfortunately, ending in a loss, that means Washi Seijun is out for now. But I hope to God we see some more. I would love to see more from Washi Seijun after that display. But here honestly, are.
We gotta have our own like top 4 bracket between Rikuo, Supernuba, Jam, and Washi Seijun, because they've all played phenomenally. The numbers don't speak for that.
Yeah, look at these numbers. You need to
watch
through. You need to look through the VOD to see how close these matches truly were. These were all like OSW played 6 really close rounds. Yeah, won 5 of them and got the win at the end, but had to work for it. Anyways, with that, we have our top 4. We're gonna be taking a quick 10-minute break here. Just a reminder, you get a chance to win a copy of Tetris Effect Connected if you type in Block Party, one word, caps doesn't really matter, into the Classic Tetris Twitch channel. You will get a chance to win either a digital copy, but if you stay tuned until the very end, you could get a chance to win a physical copy signed by the creator and, of course, his wonderful assistant, Alexei Pashitnov and Hank Rogers. Both of them signed a copy, PS5 or Xbox. Type in Block Party. We'll draw more later down the line. I don't know when we're gonna do that. Yeah, here we are. And you see the Switch copies. We already gave those away. Don't try to get those. We also have anything else? Okay, we'll go to break for now. But stay tuned. We still have top 4 to go through, and I mean, you better stay tuned with how close these matches have been. We'll see you after the break.
All right, everybody, we are back with some more Tetris action. Hope you're all doing well. And yeah, we're gonna hop into Jaden versus Sake Gohan, aka Akashi Robo. And we're actually gonna do a quick drawing. So for your chance to win a Tetris Effect connected game code, just type Block Party in the chat. We're about to do a drawing. So if you haven't already, Block Party, one word, and I'm going to draw in about 10 seconds. And yes, welcome back, Commando and Davo. Who are you? Any predictions for this upcoming match?
No comment. I don't like. I don't want to see. I think like Sake Gohan, of course, kind of being considered the best modern Tetris player, obviously. But like, I mean, everyone's here for a reason. I don't like to take sides. I don't want to tip this match in anyone's favor. So I believe there is a bit of unpredictability that Jaden could provide. So I'm just gonna leave it all to chance.
All I'll say is both of these players at one point held the TEC sprint world record. That's all I'll say.
It looks like
I'll say
Bunny Hopper has won the giveaway. Bunny Hopper 2490. Message me on Twitch. I'll tag you right now. And I'm about to fade into obscurity. Yeah, while these two commentate this game.
Shen's gonna go back behind the curtain again. He'll just let us know when he's back.
Yep.
But yeah, let Shen know. Congratulations on winning. We will still have a few. I think we have one more code and also the physical copy signed by Pajitnov and Rogers, which is going to be exciting. But before we get to that, we have to do obviously Sake Gohan versus Jaden.
This will be I think the one time. So obviously, with both these players being incredibly fast, they're used to having speed advantage no matter who they're playing, whether or not it's a winning or losing situation. So they're both going to be kind of like, just like toe-to-toe in speed, which is very unnatural for both of them to be at. But it's going to cause quite the, I think, especially with how efficient Akashi Robo can be, I think the burden will be on Jaden to match that efficiency, which is going to be extremely difficult just given how well Sake Gohan's been playing. But I'm very curious to see how both these players have had bursts of, upwards of 3 pieces per second, which is nearly unheard of at any capacity. But we're probably going to see that right out of the gates, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. And here we go. Top 4 has officially begun. Sake Gohan versus Jaden. Ooh, and Sake Gohan already off the bat with a few misdrops. Jaden kind of keeping this clean. Gonna have some nice freestyle stacking to go here. Some solid 6-3. Right off the bat, we're just seeing a lot of pressure already on Sake Gohan, but able to downstack it very quickly thanks to the fact that this is very clean garbage.
I will say this is not a situation we're used to of Sake Gohan getting pressured quite a bit. But Jaden as well, also not used to the ability for someone with all that pressure to survive it, and going to rely on some quick zones to try and help build up even more of that for the coming. Oh wow, 65.
Ooh, and that's a staggering 65 attack. Jaden trying to set up a side 4 wide here to mitigate a good chunk of it, but unfortunately things get cut off a bit early, and Jaden doesn't have much room to do anything there. That's gonna be a quick and intense first round, just like a hot fire.
And you can see as well, so Jaden was trying to get to that J piece, I believe, to help skim down and try and continue with a 4-wide combo just to stay alive. But unfortunately, the piece just was not able to get there at the right time. And I mean, like, it's very difficult for these players to be like, oh wow, I'm not allowed to like get away with insanely ridiculous speed and greed, but it's because that's kind of like what both of them are able to do so well, that advantage is kind of lost for both of them, and they have to kind of figure out what's my new win condition?
Yeah. And here we are in a zone. Very high up. Nice line 21 skim from Sake Gohan.
And a 61 from Jaden, just literally matching toe for toe, I kid you not. It's one of the most incredible matchups we're probably going to have all night, if not for a grand final set that will happen between the winner of this and the winner of the other side of bracket. But my goodness, this is quite the clash. And Jaden taking advantage of that down stack right as Sake Gohan pushes it into phase 3 with that 60k points.
Yeah.
Jaden trying to get as much out of this as she possibly can. Going to 19 weeks.
That's a very nice.
But not quite.
Not quite. 54 attack ulti. You still don't see those.
Sake Gohan. 1955. It's still fantastic. And although Jaden does get pushed up quite a bit on the board, she's still able to do a phenomenal job keeping this board. Oh wait, the lack of T pieces is not great. Is it possible to get down? You can see it was trying desperately to find a way through. But the more skims that are needed, the slower that they're going to have to play. And both players 150 drops per minute, but Sake Gohan is going to come out on top for game 2. All right, and Jaden goes
Jaden
for...
already off the bat with an all clear.
Interestingly enough, the garbage already changed columns a couple times for Sake Gohan, which is really hard to predict for in phase 1. It's not very common. Oh no, the eyepiece gets locked off for Sake Gohan. Jaden immediately tops out intentionally and forces Sake Gohan to zone, but in the meantime, they have in fact cleaned up the stack.
Yeah,
this
that's
will
an
be
interesting...
quite...
Ooh!
Oh
that
my
the
goodness.
plan backfired. Oh my goodness.
And you can see, look at the efficiency for Sake Gohan. 174 out of under 2.5 pieces per second. It's weird to consider that as slow, but for this matchup, it quite literally is. But the efficiency from that zone. Oh no,
the chops there. That's rusty. Oh.
And unfortunately, she does not have the confidence in bringing that one back after the 1-2 in the center.
Oh,
so
that's
Sake
not a good
Gohan
one to
now
bring
on
us a
4
match
wins.
point. Let's hope that Jaden can keep this round nice and smooth.
All right,
So
Sake
far,
Gohan
so
gets
good.
the color clear.
So far, so good from both players here. Ooh.
Oh, that's too much
Oh,
stuff. No.
goodness.
And
Oh, those missteps towards the
unfortunately
left
there.
side. Didn't have the confidence to fix that.
And so Sake Gohan, and you can see as well from the emotes between both the players. Again, it's just it's a mutual feeling. When you're flying that fast, it's very easy to make not just one misdrop, but sometimes 2 and even 3, just because of how fast they're pushing each other to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
And-
Sake Gohan's going to continue to be undefeated so far. Going to be moving on to face the winner of this next match, which is
This will be
another.
This is a quite a ironically consistent matchup. It doesn't seem like on paper this should be. Puyo Puyo from Japan, OSW from the US. But both of these players love playing in events just like as much as they can. Puyo Puyo always playing and a lot of other things happening here in the West. And OSW just always looking for the next great challenge they can overcome. They've already played on the winner's side of the time slot 1, and I think it was 3-2 Puyo. This matchup also happened in Square 1 in another winner semifinals match, which I believe there it was a little bit of a larger gap, but that was also a 1-10 set. So I think Puyo, for consistency's sake, will have the advantage in this matchup. But OSW, they may have some low values, but they have some of the highest peaks in the scene that can force even a consistent player like Puyo to quake in their boots.
Yeah, we have another clash of East versus West here. I mean, all
Never
these
gets old.
top four players were invited to the Square One Tetris Invitational that happened about over a year ago now.
No, I like that. About a year ago. Wait, no, not exactly. It's been a while.
It's been a good amount of time, but both all these players are at least somewhat familiar. Like, they should be a good amount familiar with each other's matchups.
And not to mention that it was almost identical to our top four. The only difference was in Jaden's place would have been Kazu, and it would have been a perfect recreation of our top four for that tournament. And
Kazu,
in that case, obviously, Kazu Akashi Robo, I think that was around 10-5 or 10-4 in Akashi Robo's favor. So Akashi Robo has booked their place in finals once again. But Ouya Shota OSW, it's not a first to 10. That consistency isn't going to benefit Ouya Shota as much in this matchup. And OSW, with some of the right pieces and maybe a little bit more time awake, might be able to fix some of those misdrops and really put Ouya Shota on the ropes.
Yeah, and looks like these players are ready to go.
And this is going to be quite a nail biter. I mean, a lot of times there are not many of the West's best that are able to hang with many players from the East. But OSW just time and time again proves us wrong.
Yeah. OSW has a way of kind of just OSW is the kind of player to kind of like set expectations with surprising plays and then somehow manage to surpass them anyways. OSW like talking about how much OSW has improved over the years is kind of like saying he's improved over the years is a bit of an understatement. He is so consistent at constantly like getting better at this game. It's kind of crazy. And this zone gonna be able to neutralize everything from Ouya Shota. Still currently at a bit of a disadvantage, but I mean, it's still early on. Oh, but that Elmis drop, that's looking dangerous. Ooh. OSW.
No zone after those two lines. Unfortunately, a top up before phase 3. But you could see Ouya Shota intentionally tanked a bit of garbage from OSW, forced that pressure, and a couple of misdrops from OSW are much, much more severe when they're accepted high up on the board. So the predominant 6-3 strategy seems to be reigning true once again.
Looks like OSW still has a bit of sleep in his eyes. Ooh, those misdrops.
Ouya Shota once again with a very specific time for a lot of their tank and receive, which we typically don't see from a lot of high-level TEC players. But I'm really glad to see that Ouya Shota's been messing around with it a little bit and finding some pretty good success with it.
Yeah. And OSW currently in a zone here, up to 14 lines. Clearing up to
working
18,
on
looking for that curb. Really looking for that curb, Tris, but unfortunately only going to be settling for a 57 attack. But that's still very impressive. Let's see what Ouya Shota can pull in retaliation. I mean, both players kind of even in terms of board height. Ouya Shota's board looking a little bit messier, kind of at the disadvantage here.
Oh boy, it's getting really dicey for OSW. Not able to get too many Tetrises in the process. OSW's score is actually the one that pushes it into phase 3. A little bit of down stack will help keep up that efficiency, but Ouya Shota has so much stack of their own accord, and that's going to be an extremely efficient in contrast to OSW needing to work with this garbage to get its max potential. And wow, still 53 from OSW. And Ouya Shota really only walks away with about a quarter zone of advantage to their name. And just OSW has done a fantastic job making sure that they're not losing out on disadvantage.
Yeah, Ouya Shota kind of just like continuing to apply pressure here, but OSW using this zone to try and start a down stack. Has to throw a lot of pieces over to the side. That's going to cut things short a little bit, but Uyashoda is going to retaliate here. Going to be able to take advantage.
Look at the garbage right now on Uyashoda's board. It's still under 20 lines, so the majority of this is going to have to get countered by OSW.
Yeah.
Probably upwards of 40 and change of whatever Uyashoda is going to keep sending. This is going to be a long, grueling fight for OSW unless they manage to find some
that
magic.
is a long incoming queue. OSW currently like at a huge precarious disadvantage right now. Things are looking so dicey right now, and that Jameis. Uyashoda is gonna take advantage of this kind of. Oh no! And then the Z-Miss drop. Oh, that is going to steal it.
That was one of the greediest quarter zones I've seen out of Uyashoda. Usually a player that tries to stay cool, calm, and reserved. But honestly, in that scenario, just with the way things worked out, it seemed to do quite well against OSW.
Yeah. OSW, I mean, both players just kind of going off with their typical opening game here. Just kind of prepping, sending it any attacks possible. Gonna have a zone ready here. The question of who sends first is a different question entirely.
I mean, look
it looks like it's going to be
little
Uyashoda. I
Like
think
the
OSW's
OSW
plan is to set up this T-spin double and then start a zone, yeah.
And I think trying to go for a little T-spin mini.
Yeah. Gets a nice Tetris
7
there. Up to 17. 19 gets the ulti 63 attack. Going to be able to send a few lines over to Uyashoda, but Uyashoda is still stacking comfortably, save for that T misdrop. But turns it into a T-spin triple way up high on the board. What an insane find. Oh my goodness.
Wasn't exactly the quickest way out of that. That fact that they had to place that S-piece there is actually going to be a little bit troublesome for Uyashoda. Especially since now we're in phase 3 and OSW has all of the offensive pressure. Only has a 3/4 zone, but is going to let it rip anyways. Has the confidence that they can make this work.
Up to 20 lines. Gets the 56 attack. Well into phase 3 now. Uyashoda has a lot to downstack.
Also had a lot of good resources in order to tank that garbage. And so a very good job of making sure that that board was malleable to a lot of pressure. And so we can see Uyashoda is not losing out on the offensive side of things. Obviously, OSW trying to run away with this and pull those chains. But Uyashoda has a definite grasp on their own board.
Yeah. Ooh, OSW with an unfortunate T misdrop there. Looking to try and fix it with something nice. Does a solid job of dealing with the board issues, but Uyashoda turning this inch into a mile, sending a lot of pressure over to the other side.
Yeah, this is, and again, every time you have to break back-to-back, it's a little bit scarier because you know you're going to be accepting garbage every little bit now and then during the down stack. But thankfully, it's a decent bit of clean for OSW that honestly, it hasn't seemed to be too big of a problem. Both players sitting at max zone, but neither feels ready in order to send that big counter spike to their opponent.
Yeah. We're approaching 3 minutes here. The score between each player is around 130k. This is just showing how efficiently they're playing. OSW does have the score advantage, but the zone's going to change that.
Wow, 35 from a Dodecatrix to like that from Uyashoda. That is some efficiency.
And OSW retaliating with a 42 line Perfectress. 42 attack. Sorry.
All right, and Uyashoda's going for combo.
Going for combo, but OSW is just going in for efficiency right now. Getting a lot of T-spin singles here, just kind of doing like hamburger stacking from ST. But, oh, I sense a T-spin triple tower coming in. Here it is. Starting off the zone with that is a solid play, anchoring the right side just so the Tetris can still come through, keeping that back-to-back going. 35 attack this late is pretty impressive. Let's see what Uyashoda can do to counter it. Because OSW did have some efficient plays, but there's not a lot there.
Definitely was a bit of a greedy play, but the fact that Uyashoda didn't have a lot of resources to make that zone in counteract does put OSW in a slightly favorable position, despite the fact that those zone charges are pretty close to even.
Yeah. Uyashoda close to the top here. Very, very, very scary.
Oh, the eyepiece.
Oh, but using the L spin to keep that stack clean. Good find, but there's a lot on the line here.
Yeah, OSW gets the ulti with that almost, 55 lines.
Yeah.
And Uyashoda, thankfully, I think, worked their way over to their half zone. And due to the extra speed from being able to place without line clear to land zone, Uyashoda has honestly found a really strong place to grab their footing in this set. Despite that it's been quite grueling in the process, OSW still greeting. Is there a down stack here? I think there is.
There is a down stack here. I see the down stack. The vision is real.
And despite that, OSW was, again, just literally at death's door, found a way down with enough damage and pressure that both players, once again, are sitting at this max zone, but neither player really wants to pull that chain. However, we see
there's
OSW...
a stop 4 wide from OSW. Taking a page out of everyone else's book. Oh my goodness, look how fast he's going through that combo!
And
6 attack in 17 lines? Huh? What? Wait, hold on, what?
And sometimes...
That was a crazy way to conclude that round.
Yeah, 342 zone attack. Like, you could definitely see that bumped up the stats quite a bit. And one of the most efficient 17s we've seen.
I think OSW's awake. I think OSW's awake, folks.
Like, I remember, as you mentioned earlier, too, like, the side 4 wide and all that might not be as strong as it was in games like PPT. However, if you're able to get a combo through around, I think, like 16, 17 is that sweet spot where it starts to be really worth it, you can get some pretty strong zones out of it. And especially if you work your way all the way up to, 18 or 19, you're going to be looking towards some near 70-line zone attacks, which even the most efficient of players, such as Sake Gohan, are going to really be forced to play at their A game if they want to have a chance.
Yeah. Right now, we are just, like, at the start of Phase 2. Neither player really showing a disadvantage. No real hiccup so far. But Uyashoda might be looking to try and apply some pressure here once this zone is cleared. OSW follows up.
65 ulti, I'd call that a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but OSW kind of follows up with his own zone. A misdrop towards the top, though. That is going to be a good amount of lines sent over to OSW. Something that OSW needs to clear, like, right now. Has the quarter zone to keep going, but... Oh, this is
It's too messy. It's Phase 3.
Oh, that's so messy.
That's too much. Right at the start of Phase 3. That is... Oof.
And now Uyashoda, the one with that 350 zoning, knowing exactly when to pull the trigger. Oh, that's a really early all clear, and OSW gets caught off guard, but fortunately did not upstack enough where it's going to be a lethal spike.
Yeah.
In fact, OSW almost gets the color clear while in the process.
Yeah. But both players kind of just freestyle stacking. Uyashoda, quick zone right off the bat.
Honestly, if Uyashoda had even parity, there would have been some all clears, I think, in that build.
Yeah.
60 out of 19, 50 out of 18. And some of the quickest zones we've seen all night, and that's saying something considering we had Jaden and Sake Gohan already earlier. Oh my goodness, OSW, the greed on that J piece all the way up at the top.
Yeah, but here's a little bit of a combo. A nice little combo there. Ooh!
Oh, this is a bad time.
Ooh, JS misdrops.
Right before we get into phase 3. OSW, are they gonna zone in time? Yes, they will. But
Ooh, nice color clear
1953 out of Ouya Shota.
Ooh, the
another
eye
double
piece.
flip of the eye.
Ooh,
that's
a dangerous incoming set of attacks. Can OSW stack enough to get another zone charge? No, he cannot. Ouya Shota's gonna take this to match point.
And a 1 APP match from Ouya Shota. Both players at 400 zone APM. You can definitely see they are really trying to eliminate the ability for both of them to just kind of build at will. And I think the only thing really stopping either of these players from going any faster is the fact that there is a line clear delay if you're not playing in zone. Because we've definitely seen with their zone play, they have taken to the skies and then some.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you sure to try to place that eyepiece over. Okay, we found a way, Okay.
2063 attack. That's a huge amount of lines. OSW is going to try and use this zone to just mitigate anything incoming, and then some.
There's a couple of skims happening. OSW is not able to stay efficient in this zone.
45 attack, but that's going to be enough to get rid of what Ouya Shota's been sending. Ooh, very
it's like
place here. The silence is palpable. Like these players just complete and utter focus.
Oh wow! Look at this beautiful
well
for Ouya Shota.
Oh, look at this well from
donation play on top. 19 lines.
OSW's
gonna get a 20.
Ooh, looks like OSW is gonna be doing some plays here. Stacking during the zone. Very risky, but very rewarding if you can pull it off. Up to 16 lines, maintaining that back-to-back. Getting 19 lines, a solid 60 attack. Still has to receive some garbage, though, because Ouya Shota was applying so much pressure.
Well, but OSW has been resorted not being able to clear some T-spins and Tetrises. These skims, especially, that's an eyepiece dependency. Come on! Where are these pieces showing up? It's just OSW, literally, it feels like almost playing on borrowed time, but usually manages to find a way out of it. Ouya Shota, I believe with a 3/4 zone, believes that they have the tools necessary to end this game currently. 45 Perfectress, it might be the case. OSW's last hope is going for this side 4 wide.
Ooh, and the zone ran out. I mean, you can still do it outside of it, but that extra zone damage could have been very beneficial here. Gonna have enough for a quarter zone charge, but I mean, Ouya Shota has a lot of room for pressure. Things are looking dire for OSW right now. Ouya Shota reaching 16 lines, sending 34 attack. That might be enough for OSW to top out.
Oh, but
things are looking dicey. OSW still managing to survive this, constantly clearing lines, trying to get that zone charge, trying to pop it constantly just to avoid topping out. But these pieces are looking too fortuitous for OSW. Still manages to stay alive, but not for much longer. Oh, what an impressive display of survival from OSW. But Ouya Shota is going to be taking it to move on and moving on to face Sake Gohan once again in finals.
And
what a match.
5-1. Again, very, very solid play from Ouya Shota. Honestly, it's a little bit of unconventional zone play that we saw from Ouya Shota a lot of times where it didn't wait for that full zone charge. And I feel like that's almost uncharacteristic of Ouya Shota's play style. But given how fast OSW has been playing and matching speed with Ouya Shota, that has been the key to their success, as OSW much closer earlier on in bracket, only able to take one single game, as I think Ouya Shota's adaptations were the key in order to bring them to grand finals to face against Sake Gohan. And so this will be, I think, just like this matchup, I believe, has only happened in grand finals of single LM tournaments, which is weird that it happened twice, but hey, it's here.
I mean, these players have just been extremely consistent with the game.
I said twice. I should specify. Within TEC, I think it's twice. I believe this is just.
I don't know. But yeah. Before we continue, we're just gonna remind you guys once again, we have one more digital code for Tetris Effect Connected to give away. If you want a chance to win that, type in Block Party, all one word, no spaces, no punctuation marks, capitalization doesn't matter. You will get a chance to win a digital copy of Tetris Effect Connected. And after that, we will do a giveaway for a signed physical copy of the game. Signed by Alexei Patinov and Hank Rogers. Stay tuned until after the match for that drawing. But type in Block Party for your chance to win that digital code right now. We'll be drawing that soon. Type in Block Party, one word, no spaces, you know. And Smithers888 has won the giveaway. Congratulations. To claim your prize, just contact Austin. He'll probably say something in chat real soon.
There it is.
But yeah, congratulations. But stay tuned. We're going to be giving away a signed physical copy of the game. You guys want that. I know you guys want that. So stay tuned. Let's watch this intense finals match.
If you don't want it, you want it. I'll put it that way.
If you don't want it, just give it to me, obviously. Hey, if you don't want it, I'll take it. I don't have a PS5 or Xbox. I will take it still. Anyways,
okay.
Sake Gohan, Uya Shota. We've been kind of talking about their We've been seeing their performance all night tonight, and it's time to see who will come out on top. Unfortunately, both of the players from the States were knocked out by these two. So we'll see it. We'll see who comes out on top between these two. We'll just. So
I mean,
strap in, folks.
Initially, when Tetris Effect first got released, I feel like we didn't have a lot of Japanese players that really played in events. But Uya Shota was one of the first ones that really started to get Japanese players into this. Especially once Kazu got into things. You know, Kazu was all the talk from the Western perspective. And then Sake Gohan shows up and just says, you know what? I'm going to be the best TEC player. And I think between those three, it has just been wonderful to see all of them go at it over and over again. Just absolutely phenomenal guideline prowess on all fronts. And I mean, already we're seeing the blistering pace just time and time again. And Uya Shota on the ropes a little bit very early on. The double flip of the eye, but make sure not to press the hard drop key. That would have been instant death.
Yeah. Sake Gohan, a few misdrops on the board, a few holes in that stack. Uya Shota is definitely going to try and take advantage of this situation and send a lot more attacks here. Both players at full zone charge. Sake Gohan actually at the disadvantage here. Let's see what happens, actually.
How was Sake Gohan already at 30k points? There was no zone that happened. We're just there.
No. They're just really fast and efficient. Like, there's not much we can say, is there? It's really just a testament to their skill in this game. Because you're supposed to go through phase 2 for a good amount of time. Phase 3 isn't supposed to happen within 2 minutes, but these players here just constantly attacking each other. Hasn't sent a single zone yet.
Look at the green from Uya Shota.
I feel like they really should be sending a zone at some point. Like, please do that. There we go. Thank you. Sake Gohan being the initiator. That's going to kick us into phase 3, and we're going to be doing it in under 2 minutes. Phase 3 is supposed to be an endgame thing.
And Uya Shota didn't actually zone before phase 3, but I think given how quickly they went through the top... Wait. Oh, IRS. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Initial rollback, I initially was like, wait, that didn't spawn in. No, it didn't.
For a little bit of context, initial rotation refers to the ability to rotate a piece before it spawns. You do it by like holding the rotate key while you have your other piece active. It sounds a little complicated, but once you start to use it, it starts to become a little bit of second nature, which is why these
actually
players
hold
are
on a second. Well, you showed this is actually shockingly more even than I would have anticipated at first glance. I feel like neither player has really gotten a solid advantage, and despite that there have been multiple misdrops on both boards, we're not really seeing too much danger out of either.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of nice down stack combo. Uyashoda doesn't exactly have the free Tetris at the bottom of the board.
Yeah.
He's getting pretty close too.
Oh, and I think one important thing to note about this matchup is that Uyashoda's like one of the very few people who can consistently take games off of Sake Gohan. Hasn't taken a full match, granted, but still able to take points. So Uyashoda really knows how to stand like toe-to-toe with someone like Sake Gohan. Has stood toe-to-toe with Kazu as well. Like, Uyashoda knows these players and can and has an ability to take games off of them. So if there's anyone who could probably take a match, it's probably going to be Uyashoda.
I mean, especially given the caliber that we've seen already tonight. That is a fantastic down stack and beautifully done. Uyashoda's zones on the last line of the combo to get as much out of that last single line as they possibly can with zone multiplier.
Ooh, that T-piece didn't come through, but still got it at the end.
C-spin there from Sake Gohan keeps them alive.
Kind of a rare. It's for some people. It's probably it's a rare sight to see Sake Gohan like play the defensive against someone. Uyashoda's been. I think Uyashoda's overall been a lot more aggressive compared to Sake Gohan. Both players, like, I mean, if you look at their scores, they're neck and neck. But I mean, Uyashoda overall has been sending a lot more garbage, been sending a lot of stuff over to Sake Gohan. Sake Gohan, I feel like, has had to play the defensive a lot more compared to...
I mean, but look how high Uyashoda's building up on this board. This is it feels very out of character, but I think
that
just
Elmis drop.
Previous set with OSW has like forced Uyashoda to think more aggressively about these builds, but given how Sake Gohan's been playing, it has been an essential part in keeping them in the match.
Yep, and Sake Gohan's about to complete a zone here, up to 17 lines, and I think Uyashoda's really waiting until he has to receive the garbage, and that is the correct assumption here.
Well, 15
very high
right
up.
now from...
Things look dicey towards the top. Has a queue of garbage incoming. That's quite a bit, actually. We are reaching 5 minutes and no clear victor just yet. Like, Uyashoda's playing defensive right now, but we have seen him recover from an attack by Sake Gohan.
Oh, wow. In the
T-spin
nick of time
close
getting
to
that.
top.
It's just literally airtight placement.
It's like watching someone balance on a tightrope over like the Grand Canyon. It's so delicate. One slight mistake and it could all be over. But Uyashoda's managing it and doing like cartwheels on the tightrope.
Oh my goodness, Sake Gohan gets a PC on line 18. I think they're going for the ulti, and that's
a 69 attack. Oh my goodness. Jeez.
It is a very hard thing to see anything close to that 70-point realm. But Sake Gohan makes it look effortless, especially with that boost to the PC.
Ooh.
And Uyashoda gets an all clear. What?
An all clear, and there's still a huge queue of garbage. This is ridiculous.
Okay, Uyashoda has a quarter zone.
Oh, looks like
Sake Gohan up to 10.
Sake Gohan, I don't think is very happy with how long this match has been taking. Yeah, kind of just like just decided to go all out in that last minute or so. But nearly 7 minutes between those two, and we only just now finished the first round.
The funny part is, like, the all-clear from Ouya Shota is likely what did them in, because it cut off their skim resources.
Yeah.
But the fact that extends 10 lines and it did almost nothing to their garbage queue is absolutely insane to consider.
It's like taking a stick of dynamite against a mountain. Like, it didn't do anything.
That's actually a shockingly accurate analogy now that I think about it.
I mean, yeah, they had to dig. They're trying to dig through a mountain of garbage. That's really all it is. Like, and here we are, Sake Gohan initiating a zone.
Yeah, Ouya Shota went with an extremely short zone on their end, only able to build up about half. But given how well they played outside of zone, they actually accept quite a bit of clean garbage. And as long as they're able to push it into phase 3. They're not really worried about Sake Gohan being ahead in points.
Yeah, Sake Gohan got a lot of T-spins there. 1 triple, 2 doubles, and then quite a few more to follow up. We are now in phase 3. Not many zones have been exchanged.
And especially considering that Ouya Shota's only zone was about 10 lines. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Look at this back and forth between the two.
Oh, wow. Sake Gohan actually the first to zone. Oh, I love that. The J.
Oh, there's a nice triple double from Ouya Shota. Gonna be able to get some T-spins. Just squeezing in T-spins whenever he can. 18, 19. Very solid 6 attack. But, I mean, Sake Gohan... I was about to say, Sake Gohan looked like he was about to set up a T-spin triple tap. Yep, there it is. Okay.
Oh, and they're gonna do it again. Look at that.
Oh,
Sake Gohan wants another bit.
That's dirty. Stop. Okay, you misdropped. Okay. Okay, misdropping the second T feels a little apt. That's what happens when you play too greedy.
I feel like Sake Gohan, if they want a T-spin triple tower, they're going to build the T-spin triple tower. It doesn't matter if they're going to use zone for it. They have the confidence. They're a confident player.
They have the confidence, but much like Icarus, they flew too close to the sun. Granted, the misdrop didn't really do anything. But I mean, Ouya Shota does stand like pretty close, like neck and neck right now, against Sake Gohan. Like both of the.
That's a bit of hesitation though from Ouya Shota, and although it seems
the misdrop
that could be the only difference, but it very well might.
Ooh, and that T-piece taking too long to come in. That's gonna give Sake Gohan plenty of time. Oh, plenty of room. Oh, that's gonna be too much to deal with. Sake Gohan's taking this next round. Basically 3 minutes flat.
And Sake Gohan basically 1 APP at 2.5 pieces per second. Ouya Shota getting outsped, outdamaged, but playing defense so well that it almost doesn't matter to begin with.
Ooh, and Ouya Shota misdropping like crazy towards the start. That's not a great way to start this match. You don't really want to be misdropping against someone who's been playing almost perfectly right now.
Oh, scary eyepiece misdrop there for Sake Gohan.
Good recovery from Ouya Shota. Sets up the super T-spin double. That's going to give Ouya Shota 2 T-spin doubles right in the same little square. Stacks up to 18. Gets the ulti at a nice 65 attack. Very solid stuff from Ouya Shota. Let's see what Sake Gohan can do in retaliation. Probably still going to have to receive some garbage as a result of this attack. 54 attack, quite a few lines.
Still receiving half a board. Actually,
yeah, that's going to be enough to top out. Oh, I think a bit of a little bit of poor judgment, I think, from Sake Gohan, but Ouya Shota gonna take it. That's the first game we've seen against Sake Gohan so far.
The fact that a 50+ zone from Sake Gohan was not efficient enough is insane, but that is quite literally what it takes for Sake Gohan to not emerge victorious on some of these sets. Their consistency is just unparalleled by almost anything else that our community has seen.
They have such a good consistency. Yeah.
Even though it doesn't seem like an opening, you have to make it an opening if Sake Gohan is not playing at peak performance. And that is exactly what Ouya Shota did.
Ouya Shota really knew how to take advantage of the situation.
Oh, and look at see, Sake Gohan is doing the exact same thing right now to Uyashoda. Uyashoda had to be a little bit careful with that zone, not going to be getting the most efficient out of it. And immediately Sake Gohan goes for the gold. 65 again out of Sake Gohan. And that forces another really short zone out of Uyashoda just to stay alive.
Yeah. Uyashoda staying nice and clean, though. Like, Sake Gohan is going to be on the advantage, I think, with sending pressure. Both players do have even zone charge, though. Uyashoda's looking still pretty clean. Doing a lot of down stacking, though, just kind of... Ooh. Is there an opportunity for something here?
There's T-spin somewhere.
There is a T-spin somewhere. I wasn't sure what exactly was going to happen there. We could have maybe seen a King Crimson. But Uyashoda just opts to do some freestyle stacking. Starts a zone with that Tetris. That was a triple.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ironically enough, I was expecting Sake Gohan to go for like a Fin TSD. It just felt like that was something that they were going to go for. I don't know why. But, I mean, they've been clean T-spin stacking up until 17 lines. Trying to go for more, but finally must top out with 61 without the ulti bonus.
Uyashoda was going for a bit of Ren there, and it wasn't enough to cancel out all that incoming garbage. There's quite a bit that Uyashoda has to do here in order to save himself.
That's 26 out of what I think is a half zone from Sake Gohan. That might have even been a quarter zone, too, if I read that wrong.
But yeah, Uyashoda seeing the end of the garbage queue, but that is unfortunately the end of this round as well. Just not having the room to be able to deal with Sake Gohan's relentless pressure that round. Wow.
Yeah. And especially for that's not exactly a sail boat, but we're seeing something go.
Ooh, and that's an auto clear. That's gross. That is just a quick, swift. That's a swift death right there.
And look at the drops per minute, 200 from Sake Gohan, over that's over 3.5 pieces per second.
That's how is someone that fast? I've seen this. I've been following this game for years. Do you think you see it all? No, someone's going nearly 3.5 pieces per second in this game.
Again, I mentioned it prior. Jaden and Sake Gohan are the top 2 fastest players when it comes to sprint in this game. And it is very evident for both of them why they have those titles.
Yep. But here we go. We're seeing a nice clean zone here. Solid 19 lines, 49 attack. A bit on the weaker end for Uyashoda, actually. We're going to have to see how Sake Gohan can retaliate against this. Using some P-spins to clean up that board, but that doesn't really help in terms of efficiency. That is a 51 attack, but Uyashoda was able to send lots of garbage.
Oh, they covered up their garbage!
Oh, that's gonna be another game taken off!
Oh, the unfortunate nature of having to place that eyepiece over the garbage well prevented them from downstacking, and the fact that spike was just too much from Uyashoda. Sake Gohan was not able to tank it all, and that is another game to Uyashoda.
Uyashoda closing that gap, could still make the comeback here. It is going to be a tall order, because you need to win 3 games in a row against Sake Gohan. And I don't think Sake Gohan is all that happy about losing 2 games already.
And
look at this.
Wow. Okay. Sake Gohan goes for an early zone, but the fact that it is pattern stacking is going to be insanely efficient. Everything has been perfect up to 16 lines. It's an
Uyashoda! Attack ulti from Sake Gohan. Uyashoda's gonna do everything he can to try and get rid of this. What?
There's
no end to that garbage queue. There is no end to it.
I really like that idea. Uyashoda had the Tetris, but specifically waited and made sure they could counter it with zone. And that's the only reason that Uyashoda's alive.
Another perfect clear from Sake Gohan. Uyashoda's still alive? Wait, hold on. What?
Colored clear as well. Sake Gohan is perfectly looping right now.
Sake Gohan is perfect clear looping right now.
I'm surprised they didn't go for a zone.
Yeah, no, there was another one right there. Like, could have started perfect clear looping. But I don't know what I'm more impressed by, that 80 attack ulti or the fact that Uyashoda managed to scrape through all of it.
And like that was not an intuitive way to solve it too. A lot of people, when trying to survive those really strong zones, just try to do it off of pure efficiency, but Uyashoda knows that's not enough when you have that much garbage incoming. You have to work with multiple zones. And Uyashoda's out.
And just like that, yeah, no, he's out. We're back to a normal match after all of that.
In case anyone thought that zone was an over-centralizing mechanic, perhaps it's important. I mean, it's kind of intended to, but even you as well can also survive an 80 attack ulti with just the right level of play, even if your opponent continues to PC loop afterwards. This offense is some of the highest we've seen from Sake Gohan, but Uyashoda does not care.
But this incoming garbage queue is looking dicey though. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe I shouldn't have spoke too soon.
Yeah, you spoke a little too soon there. But Uyashoda lost that. But at the same time, I feel like he won that round.
No, Uyashoda did not lose. Sake Gohan won the round. That's what happened. Uyashoda did not lose that round. It is just that Sake Gohan won the round.
Uyashoda's display of survival there, I think, is a good demonstrator to, like, what exactly Uyashoda is capable of. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot, in any situation, count out Uyashoda in a match like this. Sake Gohan, in the end here, came out on top. Like, absolutely deserved it. Still had an incredible display of skill here tonight. But Uyashoda showed that it's possible to go, like, stand toe-to-toe with someone like that.
I mean, like, there are so many of top 8, obviously, you know, we were like, oh, wow, everything's starting to turn to sweeps. And although it is extremely difficult to have some close sets, given the way that our top players are playing, the fact that Uyashoda just, like, religiously is able to get just a couple games here, a couple games there, off of players that were previously thought to be nearly unbeatable, is showing that it doesn't matter who is the player you're facing. If you're able to stick to your fundamentals and you stay consistent, no player and no matchup is unwinnable. But of course, for today, Sake Gohan once again proving themselves to be the titan of TEC Zone Battle, only dropping games against some of, you know, the world's greatest. And for tonight, that's only Uyashoda, despite how incredibly stacked our top 8 was today.
Yeah. What an impressive display of skill all throughout. This was, like, well played to everyone tonight. And a lot of people in chat are already jumping the gun here, but I do think it's time.
Oh, is everyone excited about the giveaway?
It's time for the giveaway you've been waiting for. A signed copy of Tetris Effect Connected, signed by the creator of Tetris himself, Alexei Pajitnov, and Hank Rogers. Block Party, all one word, no spaces, no punctuation, nothing like that. Doesn't have to be lowercase. It can be all caps. Who cares?
Whatever it be.
I think it's time to start this giveaway. Say Block Party now or forever hold that T-piece. All right, we got 10. Okay, we've been told to do a 10-second countdown. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Just draw it. Big VVV has won the giveaway. Congratulations.
I don't know if that applause is going through the mic. I don't think it is, but
I don't think it is.
Pretend there's some thunderous applause that is happening.
But congratulations, Big VVV. Austin will probably say something in chat to let you know that you can reach out. You can reach out to him through, like, Twitch whispers or whatever they're called. And we'll get that over to you. So congratulations on that. But with
But
that,
yeah,
I don't.
that wraps up events for the night. So I don't know, Shen, if you want us to give any more reads for anything else, or if you want to help close things out.
Yeah, sorry, I was unmuting myself here. Yes, thank you everyone for participating in the tournaments, the party nights, and for watching our tournaments over the last 3 weekends. It's been a lot of fun, and a huge shout out to the Tetris Company for kind of putting this all on, roping all of these games together, and kind of allowing us to enjoy this game we all love and celebrate Tetris, celebrating 40 years of Tetris. So yeah, big thanks to Tetris Official and other Tetris partners for coming together and sponsoring the event, whether they're giving away game codes, what were you giving away today? Watch faces, whatever it may be. So yes, big thank you. Shout out to, by the way, so yes, Yake Gohan has won both Puyo Puyo Tetris, Zone Battle, and they got top 4 in Classic Tetris.
In Classic as well.
Which is absolutely crazy. So if
3
they
top
manage
4s and 2 of them were victories.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that. It's wild.
Also, yeah, so if we ever have a trifecta again, right, like our recent over the last 2 years where players have to be good at every mode, like who's gonna beat this player? That's my question. But
that's gonna be extremely scary.
Yeah.
Well, especially because I mean our previous top contenders were Araki and Super Shocky, because generally, well, honestly, it's kind of funny that rhymed. But for the most part, a lot of players will either be like really good in Classic and Score Attack, but have difficulty with Zone Battle, or they'll be really good with Zone Battle and Score Attack, and then have difficulty in Classic. And I think those are really two of like a very fine few players that are really proficient at all 3. But we haven't seen players like Sake Gohan give that kind of a mode a crack. And with how they've been playing, and some of the scores that I know Sake Gohan has played Score Attack before and has also been insanely threatening. I really hope to see them in TECWC this TECWC.
Yeah, in our next TECWC, yes. So same here, and I think they are kind of newer still to like competitive Tetris. Of course, we've seen them on the ladder and stuff like that, but not too many like tournaments under their belt yet. So coming out very strong in Tetris Block Party, and hopefully more in the future of this player. And hopefully we have some players rise up to the challenge too, right? Because Kazu's MIA
at this rate, we might need them.
Yeah.
We need some contenders, and it could be anyone. It could really be anyone. I am so excited to see what happens later down the line. This is.
Yeah, cannot agree more. But once again, big thank you to Tetris Official. And whether you're watching, so we've been live streaming to Tetris Official Twitter, X, Instagram, Classic Tetris, Hard Drop. So thank you everyone that's kind of come together and put this on. And I am going to call it here just because I know we also have our Japanese counterpart. Like, hey, wrap it up, Shen, bring it together so that we can go to enjoy our days. So Dave Commando, thank you for joining me tonight. And
of course,
my pleasure.
Yeah, we will be hosting more tournaments in the future. Head to discord.gg/enhance to keep up to date on all things Tetris Effect connected, and just hang out with the community, play some friendly matches, whatever it may be, share some memes, earn some enhanced bucks. There's a sticker in there if you want to share it. And yes, we will catch you on the flippity flip whenever the next Tetris tournament it is. And for some of you, I'll see you in Ohio at a C2WC regional next weekend. But yes. Yeah, I guess both my
some exciting stuff.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to call it there. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye for now.